Hello. Welcome to the Labour Social on Labour Social. I'm back home, finally. Aid Thompson has entered the chat. Aid, how you doing? Why haven't you got a pride frame, you bigot?
Oh, yeah.
Letting the side
JK
down.
Rowling, he does.
Bloody JK lover. Yeah. I don't know.
How you doing?
We're all right. We're good. I'm just cracking open the Castellero de Diablo. And Kath, I said to Catherine, I like this. And she says, "Oh, you like? Do you?" Because she knows I know nothing about wine. And she's like, "Well, what? You know, do you like the taste of it?" And I'm like, no, I just like the label. That's why it's got a cool name. So that's my standard. Anyway, hello to everyone in the chat. We've got Repo Man in the chat. We've got Joanne Mason in there. We've got Pete's Music. We've got Puninator, Colin Thompson. We've got Billy Kershaw, Tim Ballum, Johan, and Steve Martin is in the chat. Hey, Steve Martin, how you doing? I quite like Only Murders in the Building. Hey, Aid, I heard the president of the United States just is a massive criminal, just like you. Do you reckon he can become a gangster rapper now, for real? For reals?
Maybe.
Lifelong dream.
He could be a hit in some quarters. Yes, he's a convicted criminal. He's been found guilty on, was it 34 counts?
36.
36,
no, 34. 34.
Was it 34?
One.
There's the two we don't talk about.
Two. Three. All I can think of is the count from Sesame Street just laughing in between every verdict.
Wow.
But yeah,
guilty.
There was guilty. But there was a woman on the panel, not the panel. What's it called? The jury. There was a woman on the jury, and she got her news from one news source. Can you guess what that news source was?
Breitbart.
No, Truth Social.
Oh,
and
wow.
she voted guilty on all 34 counts.
There you
go. But it's the
then.
deep state come to get us. Oh, talking to the deep state, here's Sarah S. with some deep state money. I'm only joking. We love your money, really. Did you see the Tories pushed an emergency bill through blocking private gender clinics giving puberty blockers to under 18s? Yes, Sarah, we absolutely did. And India Willoughby shared what I can only describe as a harrowing letter that's been sent out to the parents of a child who was obviously undergoing treatment, was on puberty blockers, saying you can't get them anymore. And if you try to buy them from anyone else, like off the internet or off a dealer, it says this in the letter, we will inform the authorities and we'll have your children taken from you.
Yeah.
Wow.
We will inform social services. I fucking hate them, man. I know I shouldn't swear in the first half an hour of this, but this is... They're killing kids. They're just... Here you go. Here's a trans kid. Death sentence. What for? For existing. Yeah. How bloody dare you?
I know.
J.K. Rowling has blood on her hands.
The NHS have become the secret police for some reason. I don't know what's going on with them. That they have... You know, they're not going to provide care. They don't, but they're not going to provide care, but they don't want anybody else to provide it either.
No. How Machiavellian is that? Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to help you, and no one else can help you either.
And Pink News reported that there's an exodus of LGBTQI people leaving the NHS because they don't want to work in such a bigoted service.
Can I just dig into this, because this is important, and I imagine there'll be other people who also want to be educated around this area. So what is the hi John, how you doing? I noticed you joined there.
Hello, carry on. I'm listening.
No, I was just wondering what's the stats and what's the studies around if there is a feigned concern or legitimate concern around kids who are taking these blockers who then go on to regret it. What is the percentage of that versus the kids who take the blockers because they feel like they were
born in the wrong body? Percentage of the regret is very small. It's less than 0.5% of detransitioning in the community in America and the UK.
And that's transitioning, don't forget. That's not puberty blockers. Puberty blockers are completely reversible. You stop taking them, you go through puberty.
And so it's 0.5% and the on full transition, and that is usually because they can't get a job, their family kicks them out, hate crime, all the other stuff. It's not because they're not trans. And So you got that problem. The good thing about puberty blockers is these kids don't want to go through puberty. They don't want to grow hair on their face. They don't want to grow breasts. They don't want to start period, all that stuff. And they start self-harming. They start to have suicidal thoughts. And this stops them doing that. It gives them up a pause until they're ready. There's no surgery. Nobody has any bits chopped off. So
what happens then? Like, so let's say they go through like 18, 19, 20 years old, and then they decide, actually, fine, okay, I want to come off the medication now. Does puberty then kick in? Is that
puberty kicks in,
right?
And it's like I look at it like a pinball machine. You pull the arm back, and you hold it back, and it goes, and it shoots forward, and then you spring forward. And there are so many studies in so many European countries saying that and it's the required. Most countries prescribe and monitor. We had the most monitored prescribed system. Now, the Tavistock clinic where these kids were getting treated wasn't perfect. In fact, the trans community celebrated the Tavistock getting closed as well because it was bad. And the NHS were going to open 2 centres, which haven't really opened. But the cash report's now come out, and it's just there's an intersection you should watch with Helen Belcher from Transactional talking about the fact is that so many really great studies on treating trans kids have been discarded, and the WPATH, World Pathway of Association of Transgender Health, all the bodies outside the United Kingdom have said this is a really bad way of treating trans kids. And when you've got the right wing, every right wing, including the Republicans, banging this report as something great, and you've got every LGBT group in the UK going, this is really, really bad. Something is wrong. Something smelly in Denmark with that report. There were some good ideas in there, but the stuff about just assuming, throwing other treatments at them, and it's not even the presumption that they're trans or anything like that. It's just not the approach you should be doing. Helen Belcher summarized it better than I do, because kids isn't my area. I do adults in training, but I really, you look at, there's a great podcast if you've got 4 hours on the stuff that's going on in trans. There's 2 called What the Trans. And I recommend if you've got you're sitting on a train for a couple of hours, listen to the What the Trans podcast on the cash report. And What the Trans did it into 2 4-hour segments. But everything you ever wanted to know about what was wrong with that report is in that. It's long, but it's good.
Can I ask also, like, typically if you're going to write a government report on teaching, you'll talk to a load of head teachers.
Yes.
If you're going to write a government report on defense, you'll go and talk to people who work in defense contractors. When they were writing this report, did they source the opinions of trans kids? People who deal with trans?
No, not even one trans person was involved in the report.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, there seems to be a sort of structure. There's like, Kemi Badenoch writes to everybody. There's a survey online to ask people to send in their worst trans guidance, which is good. It's actually good trans guidance. And then she gets all her audience to write and send this stuff in and go, look, all these people are really concerned about this guidance, because they will then we see there's a university asking for guidance on sex and gender. So everybody at the anti-trans camp write all that stuff. And then they look, we have the evidence. And it's like, should we have all gender lose? They all write their evidence. It's like the constitution on the NHS now, which is going to ban trans women from single-sex spaces and probably presume only sex and not gender when you're treated. It's pretty nasty, the constitution, and you should fill it in. There's a download on Transactional on how to fill the NHS 10-year constitution in. It takes 20 minutes. You should do it if you're an ally. But that what they do is they all organize, they get on their WhatsApp groups on a Sunday night and they go, right, everybody fill in the gender, and they all go and fill it in, and the NHS go, wow, we do need to segregate trans people because all these people don't want them on wards. But it's because it's an enforced, organized attack on and they just create a survey, they get their fans to fill it in, and they go, look, we have the evidence. It's their new copybook. And trans community try to fill it in, and we say, please, allies, fill it in, and our allies go, yeah, we'll do that, and then they don't. And that's what we really need, because it is that it's dark and it's sinister, and and Kemi seems to be the last that banning private puberty blockers was a real scorch earth policy. You know,
on the way out, they didn't bring in the criminal justice reforms that they wanted. They spent years working on.
It's like one of those scenes in those Second War films where the Germans are burning all the papers in the fire.
The
Russians are coming up the driveway and they're going, quick, ban puberty blockers, and then they leg it out the back. That's exactly what they did.
They didn't bring in the ban on cigarettes. That was supposed to be Rishi Sunak's flagship thing, you know, his lasting legacy. They didn't bring that through, but they brought this through. This tyrannical, disgusting policy that is going to result in the deaths of children.
Speaking of bringing in things that are disgusting, John and Scott, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello.
See, Scott's got the pride flag up. It's Pride Month in about 3 hours. Yeah!
Woo! I recognized what you guys did, and I thought, well,
it's just Adrian and John
homosexual of the show.
Bigots in the middle.
Not following the crowd.
I've got a couple of super chats to go. Well, a few super chats to go through. Thank you very much for the cash from Christine Cash. Thank you very much. All the way from the USA, a little celebrating, I don't know, what is that, an eggplant or something? I don't know. And then Craving Beer, thank you very much. Is this the drinking stream? Yes, it is.
Drink what you want.
I'm celebrating. It's been a good week. Apart from a few things. Well, it's been a roller coaster. Tory sold another £1.7 billion of NatWest yesterday. That's from Alec Barrett. Thank you very much for the £2 super chat, mate. And also Johnny Copperhead, who says, get this, I like this. We now know what confefe means. Confefe. It's a compound word meaning convicted of 34 felonies.
Yeah. I really like that Trump's finally won the popular vote. That was my favorite quote.
That was a good one.
Joe Lefty, thank you very much for the £2 super chat there. Going through the wrong puberty blocker nearly ended me. That's from Joe Lefty, which shows there needs to be care taken in what gets prescribed. The list that on the letter that India shared, there was a whole list of different brands of puberty blockers that were all being taken out. Well, not for cisgender kids, by the way, just for trans kids. But like with all medication, some stuff works on some people and some doesn't. I mean, some people have horrific side effects and some people don't.
Yeah, just saying something personal. I've been on estrogen since 1998. I went for about 6 products till I found the one that worked. I felt that some gave me headaches, some gave me leg cramps, some I couldn't concentrate on.
Rachel, are you trans?
Oh God, I've outed myself. Jesus. Damn. Sorry, Scott.
Next, we're going to discover that Scott's American.
Oh, God. And did he vote for Trump?
It's a secret Trump photo.
No. Well, Wayne voted for the Tories.
He did. He's not here yet. He's hiding from us because we made jokes about him voting for the Tories in the chat before he came on.
About you, Scott.
He's hiding.
I would never vote for Trump.
Oh,
I know.
I'd rather eat a bowl of teeth. Anyway, look, we've got another super chat. Thank you very much to Ivan Ambrose there. I will say again that disabled people are another group of vulnerable people that the Tories treat not as second but third class citizens. They are causing deaths of these people too. Ivan, you're absolutely right. And they pick on people who they see as weak. Yeah. People who don't have the representation, don't have the money, don't have the power to actually affect whatever the Tories' ambitions are. And as a result, they're just... They scapegoat them for everything. They blame them for everything.
You're seeing it in Italy at the moment with Melania, whatever her name is. She's getting this coalition together for the EU. She's like, the family, man and a woman having babies. They've already stopped lesbian women putting their names on birth certificates, trans kids, trans adults, LGBT, women's rights. It's that copybook that I'm always banging on about this channel. It's the same copybook in every right wing. Trans kids, trans adults, LGBT, women. In that order.
I've just noticed. Sorry, Joe. I've misread your super chat there. Going through the wrong puberty nearly ended me. Sorry, Joe. Thanks for pointing out that I got that wrong in the chat. Yeah, that was vendetta.
Oh, no.
But Joe, I'm really sorry. It's shit that you had to go through that, and it's shit that this government is trying to make other people go through it.
But Kemi's talked to trans people. She talked to one detransitioner. That's it. That's all she needed to talk to. She's an expert now.
Don't more people like regret having knee surgery?
Yeah.
Yep.
Jesus.
Maybe we should ban knee surgery.
I was going to say, ban knee surgery.
Or pair them off. You can have knee surgery if you let one trans person transition and you pair it off.
What's the divorce rates these days? Maybe we should ban marriage.
Yeah. No, I like marriage. I like being married.
People change their minds. People change their minds.
I've heard so.
I've got some good news. If I may. I know that we're all here to discuss all manner of things that have happened this week. We all hate the Tories. We're all pro-Labour. Get the Tories out, etc., etc. Here is a breaking story. This has just come up on my Twitter feed. This is from Christopher Hope, who is a Tory ultra, writes for the Telegraph quite oftenly. Oftenly? Is that even a word? Bigly. Coffee.
Bigly.
Bigly.
And he's been quoted by Dan Hodges. Anyway, Christopher Hope says, breaking, Tories on brink of electoral wipeout. Devastating megapoll of 10,000 people gives Labour a majority of 300, with Conservatives only just beating Lib Dems. And Dan Hodges says, as I've been saying, if Sunak doesn't get a grip on this election soon, it could be an extinction-level event.
That's the words we want to use. Extinction-level event. I like the sound of that, Aid. It's giving me the tingles in all the right places. And
my pants are pregnant right now.
And obviously, we've had a little bit of madness this week in Labour with Diane Abbott being really admitted into the Labour as an MP, and then saying that she wasn't allowed to stand, but she never actually said that. Apparently, they got a text message where she said that, and Labour have said no, she can stand if she wants. It's all a bit weird.
But do you think that was the newspapers just winding her up?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so, but also, it could have been quashed very quickly. In one day, we've gone through like 3 days of this, and I think that it is disgusting, quite frankly, that this is prolonged for as long as it did. You know what I mean? Especially, it's like, well, of course you can. Well, it's like, why didn't you say that 2 days ago?
Yeah.
This whole, we have an independent, blah, 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 blah. You're the leader. Just say she could do it or not, And
well, this is the problem with Starmer, really.
On that. We can't give a straight answer on that. Sorry, we can't give a straight answer on something so simple as that.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to run the fucking country. Come on.
Well, it's not as simple as that, though, is it? Because it's not all. Starmer has said, he's got on the record to say it shouldn't be up to the leader of the party to decide who gets to stand and who doesn't. It should be up to the individual parliamentary constituencies to decide, the local groups, who they want to represent them.
Not a majority of 30,000. Last election.
If you were Starmer,
want her,
If you were Starmer and you were playing it smart, wouldn't you say, look, I put my finger in the air, I can see which way the wind is blowing, and then you go on TV, or go on a camera and go like, look, I've got no problem with her standing. It's not actually up to me. Like, I hope that
that's
she
what he
does
said.
Right.
I don't
That's
think
what
he
he
did
said.
say that.
Didn't he say that?
No.
He said that straight away. He said, she wants to stand. That's fine.
He didn't. He said it was up to, he shirked it. He said it was up to the national committee or whatever.
Yeah.
And if he did say it, it looked like he was shirking it.
Yeah.
I think that this is the media making a mountain out of a molehill, to be honest with you. I think
of course it is, but that
Diane Abbott should be allowed to stand. She is standing.
If it's that easy, then we're gonna have a problem,
Well, I also think that it's a bit mad, isn't it? That you got these people who really, really, really hate Labour, and they go on about how much they hate Labour all the time, and then they're like, "Oh, Labour aren't letting Diane Abbott stand as an MP for them." And like, yeah, you hate Labour, that's fine. Don't you want her to stand as a Green? Or the SNP or some other party. I mean, come on, what do you want?
So this is the party that wanted wanted Diane Abbott shot. Yeah. One of them, that their funder wanted Diane Abbott shot, and now they're trying to defend her right to stand. Come on.
Well, they think that her standing is going to look bad because they're crazy, they're deluded, and because they think that it looks bad. Then everybody else is going to think that too. And it's like, well, wait a minute, no. Diane Abbott is actually really popular amongst sort of lefties, and they kind of excuse, some of her gaffes and missteps and things that stupid shit she says, because of the fact that she is who she is and the history that she's made, you know what I mean? And the fact that she's a great constituent MP, she and she's very popular in her constituency and does a lot of good work in it. So, things get forgiven by the left, but the right hold on to it, and they it's a dog with a bone, and they think that
I disagree with that. I think it's the left of the party who hold on to things like cray. That's why the previous leader of the opposition is literally trending every day. It's him, it's J.K. Rowling, and usually Lawrence Fox or some other gobshites.
These are the extreme sides of the parties, though. Like the extreme side of the right is going to be like, we're Diane Abbott. We all know they're complaining about Diane Abbott because they're racist. You know what I mean?
But there's also the fact that she has had a go at the leader many times, and they need to win this election.
I'm saying we always end up forgiving Diane Abbott because of who she is and what she stands for.
Well, at the moment,
I'd like to table a question, if I may, to the panel. So one of the things that came out of my show just before I jumped on here with Van Man Talks. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him.
Homosexual?
Say again?
He asked if he was a homosexual.
No.
Have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
No,
Scott wants to know.
If we could just drag this kicking and screaming back to politics. So one of the questions that came, or one of the ideas that came out of it,
sorry,
my conversation with him was, even though it appears that Starmer is quite ruthless, and that he, if rumors are to be believed, that he really didn't want Diane Abbott's standing, and now he's sort of backed down, and he's like, do you know what? It's not worth the bother. Let's let her stand, etc., etc. Is it worth? And actually, let me preface this by saying the reason that he didn't or doesn't want her standing is because he's worried that having somebody like that speaking ill of him as the leader could cause some problems, right?
All of the fucking time.
Wayne, you're on. We can hear you. Wayne, stop swearing. Anyway, well, go on. I might have to mute Wayne for a moment.
Okay.
Wow, he just got here.
So I guess let me just finish laying the context here, right? So if he's worried that Diane Abbott is going to cause him problems or say anything similar to the stuff that she said before that got her in line with the anti-Semitism stuff, and then they put her on an anti-Semitism course, if he's worried that she is going to, for want of a better word, embarrass him and cause him issues, so he then removes her and then gets into power with a view to then regulating the press so that then they don't have to worry about that sort of tabloid hyperbole, the right-wing obsession with setting a light to this, like, oh, she said this, so that must be anti-Semitism. He said that, so that must be anti-Semitism. Is it actually part of a greater good strategy, even though it must be really heartbreaking for Diane Abbott and her supporters and every other far left or medium left constituency MP to be let go as a result of that? Is there an argument to be made? And I'm not saying either way. I'm just saying, could there be an argument to be made that you could or should offboard those kind of MPs to get into power so that then you can press regulate and then nobody ever has to deal with that shit again?
Yes.
What happens to those people that are sort of chucked out because they're a little bit more left-leaning?
But it's not that. You can be very left-wing but loyal to the party. I don't understand why people are part of a political party that they don't like. It's just weird. It's like going to a pub that you absolutely hate and then spending the whole time whinging about the fact that you're in that pub. Go to another pub. It's fine. If you are an oil baron, don't join the Greens, and then complain about the Greens. It just seems weird to me.
I get it, but you have to remember that the roots of the labor movement are in that sort of more lefty
Oh no! Come on,
that's
you
wait.
I can, and I will, because that's a romanticised vision of the past. The first major Labour government was the Attlee government in 1945 to 1951, and they not oversaw the development of the nuclear bomb, but also the partition of India, which led to the deaths of 1 million people. So you can't really look at that and go, "Oh, mate, we were all bloody amazing socialists back then."
I never said that.
Harold Wilson, you never saw him ever on the picket line. You never saw Blair on the picket line either. People go, "Oh, why are they on the picket line?" He never did. Neil Kinnock didn't join the miners when they were striking in the 1980s. He was the leader of Labour at the time. Because it's not up for Labour to do that. The Labour politicians are paid to do a job, being an MP, voting in Parliament. It's not really up to them to be joining. Well, if they're in the cabinet or shadow cabinet. I mean, if you're an individual MP and there's a strike in your constituency and you support the striking workers, fine, turn up at the picket line. But it's never. There's this idea that in the past Labour were this amazing socialist revolutionary party. It never was, and that's why you always had the Socialist Worker Party.
Right, I hear you, but those people like Diane Abbott have been in the party for 40 years. I mean, it's not like these people don't exist. You know,
this is what I'm getting into. Is like, so for them, it is not just a job. They've built their lives around being a member of this party. Their friends are in Labour. They're used to going to Labour functions. They've contributed. They've given like years, decades of their life to it. And I do sort of, I understand the anger when people say,
"Get rid of them, to win power." That's the answer. No, you don't chuck them out to win power.
Like the ideal response would have been an off-board ramp from Team Starmer to say, like, "Look, clearly we don't want you to be like. It would be great if you could just sort of gracefully exit, and we'll give you a super fat pension, Diane. Like, we'll."
I think that's what they did, isn't it?
Anyway.
Oh, did they?
Well, they let her back into the party like a few days before she stopped being an MP. So she left Parliament as a Labour MP.
But great, they also did her dirty in the sense of they told all of us that it was all ongoing, and it was all sort of like
it was all sewn up in December. Yeah, that's the bit I can't really get.
Wait, Wayne's here.
Wayne is here. Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh no, Adrian's gone. We've lost our resident racist. Sorry, Wayne.
It's all right. Oh, well. The brown fella turns up, Adrian goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Every time. Bloody racist. Oh, he's back now. Look at him. That's his little
Englander.
Look at his cute little Hitler face. Right, I've got loads of super chats to say that I didn't get a chance to say a minute ago. So Jacob Ferren, thank you so much for the super chat, mate. That's really kind. Saying just the amount of goods that can be done. Just the amount of good that can be done with a 300 majority. And also, what's your opinion of the Lib Dems campaign so far? I love the Lib Dems campaign. I was at the Lib Dem conference back in 2018, and I was sitting there with a bunch of young Lib Dems having pizza, and I said, "You need to get yourselves into the headlines. You need to do mad shit. Just say you're going to legalise all drugs. Because then you will be on the front cover of all the newspapers and everyone will be talking about you. Otherwise, no one's going to care what the Lib Dems have to say about anything." And Ed Davies just taken that ball and ran with it. He's just gone, "I'm going to just make a complete dick of myself every day until the election." And I'm here for that. I'm absolutely here for that. Good on him.
He's been brilliant. He's been brilliant, Ed Davies, so far. And they know what they're doing as well. There is a plan behind this, apparently. Challenge Ed, that sort of thing, where he becomes this sort of crazy Blue Peter presenter. But it's working. It's working. But what they're doing is they're apparently they're putting Ed in some of the places at the beginning of the campaign where they're not realistically going to win, and then they're focusing in on the blue wall the closer they get to voting time. And they've got their specific 50 or 60 seats that they're going for, really, really precisionally, targeted.
The ones that Labour have literally just stood aside and said, "Oh, whatever, mate, you go for it."
Oh, they've done the non-battleground list, haven't they? Which is bloody fantastic. Which is a Bible.
Thanks, Labour.
People don't realise how important that document is that they put that out.
Yeah. This was a document. Sorry, Rachel.
No, we were in one of the new boundary changes, and so we've had the Conservatives parachuted in their SPAD about 8 weeks ago, who's been working, because we're an agricultural area. So the SPAD's been working all the parish councils, been to all the meetings, and and has been working. The Labour have just appointed their MP here, and we're 5 weeks away. And they're not. I just don't think. We were a pretty big Tory stronghold. Don't think they're going to catch up here, and I'm really disappointed because I'm a member of Labour and blah, 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 and they've just appointed their MP. It's like
the boundary change has kind of gone under the radar, hasn't it? Like where they've just moved shit around and no one's like talking about it.
Well, I don't know. There was quite a lot of bit about it in back in September, October time when they actually did it.
Yeah,
wasn't there really? Because there was a really good website that done all the comparisons and stuff like that.
But apparently, if the last election had been fought on these constituencies, the Tories would have had a majority of 93. And as a result of these constituency changes, Labour needs to win 120 more seats just to break even, just to that would give them just out of the realms of being a hung parliament, 120 seats. So when we talk about the
biggest swing ever,
the biggest swing in
swing ever,
history. Which is why it's not helpful when people are saying, I think we should have a hung parliament. I'm like, who are you going to tell to vote for Conservatives so we get a hung parliament? How are you going to...
That guy who's doing that, Jesus, don't get me on him. He's astounding.
It's a very dangerous... It's like, we're not going to have an ice age because of global warming. It's like playing with a chemistry set in your back garden. You don't really want to do it. This experiment of we're trying to force a hung parliament, you might overdo it and we get Tories. It's such a stupid
exactly. I've got some super chats as well. This is Puddinator. Thank you very much for the £5 super chat. I'm ace, disabled, left-handed, probably on the autism spectrum, but undiagnosed and Generation Z. If the Tories win, I doubt I'll see another general election. And Puddinator, I don't blame you saying that at all. I think there's a lot of people who would not survive another 5 years of this Tory sadism that was beaten into them or worse in their posh schools that they went to as children. And the adults that have come out of these places, like Suella Braverman and Boris Johnson and Jacob Rees-Mogg, that there's something wrong with them. There's an important part of their soul that is missing, as Charlie Brooker once remarked. David, thank you very much. David from Spain has said, great stream tonight. Graham, you are marvellous with rainbow background. Big kiss. My European ginger hero and a rainbow. Oh, thank you. And Weald of Kent is there. Alec Barrett is saying Weald of Kent. What does Weald of Kent mean?
No chance. No chance. The Weald of Kent's a seat. It's a new boundary seat.
The one I live in
Kent.
I thought it was like an amusement
theme park. So safe Tory.
It is right through agricultural.
Come visit the Weald of Kent.
Yeah,
it's like an Australian theme park of Kent.
Ashford used to be the big one, and Damien Green was the MP. He's moved into Ashford to be the MP there. He'll lose probably in Ashford. He may get knocked out.
Yeah, he'll lose Ashford.
Kerry Tammy Lake, or whatever her name, I can't remember her name. She was she's Suella Braverman's SPAD has been flown in to be the Conservatives in Sissinghurst. She's banned. The Labour have just appointed they're dialing. It feels like Labour are dialing it in. I hope that
I don't think they know they're going to not get near that.
That's how it feels.
They're not going to get near Weald of Kent. But if anything, on some of the projections I've seen, even the Lib Dems are MRPing slightly better than Labour. We're just not going to win Weald of Kent. It's just not going to happen. Sorry to be negative, but
it is 9:36. Sorry to interject, but I just want to say a big cheers out to Ian Dale. We forgot to mention this on the show this afternoon. As soon as we finished it, Phil says to me, "Oh shit, we forgot to mention Ian Dale." So this guy, he's a presenter on LBC. He's a Tory.
He's really best friend.
Yes, he is. He was on Aid's show, wasn't he? He was one of your disappointments. Aid, first aid, second aid, all the aids, bad aids.
He was a guest. And then when I was a guest on his show, he was like, "And was I a disappointment to you on your show?" I was like,
"But Aid
roll adequately in." Yes.
Aid, did you have a roll around with you on Brighton Pier?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Did I what? Sorry.
you have a fight with him on Fighting Pia?
With him?
No, yeah, I saw the footage after he'd been on my show. I saw like somebody posted me a thing going, "Oh, nice one. You've had this thug."
Anyway, Ian Dale quit his very lucrative job at LBC to go and be the Tory party candidate for Tunbridge Wells. Soon afterwards, it emerged that he'd actually spent some time on LBC slagging off Tunbridge Wells.
Tunbridge Wells.
It's not gone well, bruv.
So now he's not going to be the Conservative candidate for Tunbridge Wells, and I don't know if LBC will take him back.
Yeah,
I hope they don't.
He hated living there. He hated it with a passion, but he only lived there because his partner liked it.
Yeah. It's a shithole. Careful where you say it's a shithole. That's why whenever people ask me about countries around the world, they go, "What's the worst country you went to?" I can never give them an answer, just in case, because you never know.
Maybe.
England.
No, but we spoke about Tunbridge Wells last week, didn't we? Yeah. About like horrible it is to drive through. It's just
it must be. It must be because Rishi wanted to steal all the money from the north to level it up in Tunbridge Wells, didn't he? So maybe he needs it.
There you
go. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he rocked up there, sleeves rolled up. Went, yeah, we're going to give you some money.
What I took from this was it was like a warning sign, a sort of precedent. And I tweeted about this earlier. I was like, this is actually quite sad because like my hometown is Maidenhead. And one day I might consider running as an MP for Maidenhead. Ooh. But now I know that I've said so much shit about how horrible that fucking town is. It's a shithole. Every time you try to do something interesting there, people are like, "What are you trying to do? Oh, this is Maidenhead, not London. Why don't you fuck off?" It's like, I can never do that now. I know that I've said too much.
You're going to have to move somewhere and be really nice about it for a year and then stand.
Yes, that's the
build up a history on Twitter.
Yeah, that's the secret.
Did that, did he? When did Ian say these things? Was it recently?
No, I
don't know, man.
I think someone's gone past.
Dug through the archives of this podcast. It was
I think
wasn't that?
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, it was only 2 or 3 years ago. He was saying that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still 2 or 3 years ago, man.
The thing that I love about it is
comes back to haunt you,
The thing that I love about it is the immediacy of it. Like a lot of people would have thought that and gone like, do you know what? It was a long time ago. I was actually really upset about a parking ticket that I got that day, or this had happened, or that. Yeah. But I love the fact that somebody showed in the footage of it, and it's like, oh, I could happily live somewhere else because I fucking. And immediately on seeing that, he's just like, yeah, it's over.
Oh, fuck it, I'll quit.
I mean, yeah, it's fine. I didn't want to do it anyway. Fuck it.
I'm not totally concerned about Ian Dale's. I'm sure he's built up a surplus to live quite the rest of his days out comfortably.
Well, you might be interested to hear, Scott, that he is a homosexual.
I know he is.
Oh. Well, he went to a state school as well. So,
but can we counter that by saying that he's a West Ham fan as well?
So
he can fuck off.
A scab amongst the homosexual community. Because if you are a Tory and a homosexual, well, it's turkeys voting for Thanksgiving. And
it doesn't look like that now. That's the trouble, Scott. Because at the moment the Tories aren't doing anything nice. We know there's a route map after trans people are done with. They're going after LGBT.
Yeah.
But most gay guys in the UK, especially the ones kicking trans people right now, don't know that the Tories have got a plan for them too.
Oh no, because they're stupid. They're stupid. I think we should be able to call out stupid people for being stupid. Yeah. We have to tell them they're being stupid. And that they're going to come for us next.
Yeah.
I have no problem doing that. You watch my TikToks, man. I have no problem telling a fellow homosexual, shut up, stop, you're being stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, can we talk about the big thing that I want to talk about this week? Angela Rayner! She was found innocent. Oh, no. I was going to come on to the fact that Angela Rayner was found innocent.
Yes. Brilliant.
Don't forget me on this. Yet all the right wings say that she's still guilty of something, including Dan Hodges, who is absolutely obsessed to the point of stalkerishly obsessed with Angela Rayner. Day 1247, Angela Rayner still won't publish her things to the HMRC. And it's like the HMRC and the council and the Met Police, the Greater Manchester Police have all said, nothing to see here. She's not committed a crime. Meanwhile, Trump in America gets found guilty of 34 crimes. 34 separate crimes. And yet all the same people who said that Angela Rayner is definitely guilty, even though she's innocent, are now saying that he's definitely innocent, even though he's guilty. My God. It's as though they live in a world where they just make things up.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, Scott, you got to make me feel better because I still think he's going to win the election.
No,
make me feel better. Tell me why not.
Every week we go through this.
Tell me why, man. Hang on. Before we go through this again, sorry, I need it. Richard, thank you very much to Richard's Grutters there. He says, is it likely Labour non-battlefield seats will be Lib Dem tactical vote in most of England? Yes. It's a simple answer there. Thanks for the super chat, but yes, absolutely. Anyway, so Trump.
He's not going to win. And I think it's
he's raised $35 million.
Well, you know what?
Biden's got like
we gotta have a conversation about stupid people. What?
Yeah.
Wayne.
Scott, before you carry on, can you put an invoice in to be Graham's therapist about Trump?
Somebody needs to.
He's going to win. He's ahead in all the polls still.
He isn't.
After all this.
The ones that
I don't think he really is. I think this is the press hyping him up.
Yeah, it's not.
I think there's a right wing of the country that want him to be president. And I think they're hyping him up and they're making it look like he's going to win and all this. And this is beneficial somehow to his campaign.
Okay.
Honestly, I prescribe 24/7 Midas Touch Network.
I have one question for you then, Scott. Do you think there are shy Biden voters or shy Trump voters? What do you think is more likely?
I don't think Trump voters are shy.
No, not the MAGA
shite to me.
Shy, they're all shy.
I believe there to be shy Biden voters. I think there will be people that sit there and are complaining right now. Oh, my gas is too much. Cost of living. They'll go vote for Biden.
Where's my first cousin?
Yeah, because they know that Trump is going to be bad news. But I mean, the people that the thing is, this hasn't. Sorry, I'm doing my Trump impression as I speak. The thing is, he is, he's a convicted felon.
He's what?
I cannot believe the powers that be are going to allow a convicted felon to be the president of the United States of America.
He's not allowed to own a gun.
He can't vote.
He won't be allowed to visit certain countries, and he might not be allowed to vote.
He is not allowed to vote. He's not allowed to own a firearm.
Yeah.
But we're going to give him nuclear codes? Come on.
That's a pretty big gun.
It's not going to happen.
To the biggest working nuclear arsenal in the world.
Yeah.
But you speak to Americans about this, not you, obviously,
They're
Scott,
crazy.
but like other Americans, and they're like, I don't care. I love him. I think about him when I'm having sex.
And again,
we can
talk about stupidity. We can talk about stupidity and ignorance and living in a little bubble world of delusion, because we have a lot of that going on here. There's a lot of it going on in America. It's quite simple.
Craving Beer put the orange man in an orange suit. Thank you very much for the super chat there, mate.
Very good.
There you go. And also Johnny Copperhead, £5 super chat. Thank you very much. But Angela Rayner must have paid off a porn star with her £1,500.
I don't get Dan Hodges' session as well. He too is something sexual too.
And I took it well.
What? What?
Are
he's a porn star, isn't he?
Did you do porn in your past?
Me?
Wait,
you.
Yeah. Are you our resident porn star?
Not that you can prove.
Well, if you got rid of the beard and just left the tash, mate, I think it could be. Yeah, I think I've seen you.
And I think you give us a bid of a BDE, definitely.
Yeah. I wouldn't recognise the face
on as well.
I'd leave the shades and socks on.
As long as you take everything else off, that's fine.
Oh my god!
Bit of Barry White playing over the top. Bow, bow, bow.
Yeah. I know. I do find it very disturbing how many people in America who consider themselves, Christians, all good and everything.
Okay, those are people that are very poorly educated by the American school system.
Yeah.
And they believe the things the preacher tells them.
Oh, we're getting raided.
These are misled.
Scott, we're getting raided. We're getting raided. Hello to everyone from Max's stream. We're getting raided from Max's stream. Hello, everyone. Sorry.
Hello.
Sorry, Scott. You were saying about the education system in America not being very good.
Max? What stream? What's going on?
Maximilian Robespierre. He does a stream that finishes around 9:30 each night. Not each night. On Friday nights, and he shunts everyone watching that over to us.
Oh, hi, everyone.
Which is lovely of him. Thank you, Thank you, Max. There you go.
Yes, I mean, there are deluded people in America as well. And I think that we have to look at the people. It didn't change, from what I can see.
Yeah.
It's not changed anything. The people who are always going to vote for Trump are still going to vote for Trump. And the people who are not going to vote for Trump are not going to vote for Trump. It's not really swayed anything either way.
Yeah.
From the sort of Vox Pop media stuff that I've seen.
And the real polls on Midas Touch Network, and they show all the time, and they get pollsters on it. That expert, they had that expert was laughing at because Ben Meiselas was saying, could Trump win? And she was bursting with laughter. Oh, 95% of America's not even looking at the election yet. But when they do, boom, they're going to go, this guy's crazy. You're not seeing those people. It's like here. A lot of people aren't, as Phil's always saying, people aren't engaged with the election here. We all are, but most people aren't.
Sorry, what I was just going to interject to say was even though it's not really moved the dial, and you're right in saying that people who were going to vote for Trump anyway are still going to vote for Trump, and people who are going to vote for Biden are still going to vote for Biden. It's not really moved anything. What it has achieved is that the people who were going to vote for Trump have gone even more crazy, and that's really funny to watch.
Yeah.
They're outside the courthouse going, I can't believe that they didn't even say what crime he did. And I'm like, have you read the fucking verdict? Look at the verdict.
It's definitely funny. Yeah.
It's the deep state that I know he's a part of, and it's the judges that I know that he's appointed most of.
It's not the jury that found him guilty, but the judges.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's delusion of the highest order. And,
and just for the benefit of anyone that's watching,
but anyway, can I just say quickly, for the benefit of anyone watching, go and read the X thread that Aid did on this last night. It is so spot on, Aid, what you said about the people of America and and their reaction to this, and the MAGA reaction to this verdict. You were so spot on. You're delusional, you're stupid, we laugh at you.
There was an English woman, there's a great video floating around of an English tourist in New York. And she wandered around. She's like, I'm on holiday with my husband. She was interviewed, and she saw all the MAGA guys outside the courtroom just as the verdict, and they were exploding. And she went up and went, oh, this is really exciting, honey. Look at what's going on here. Look, these are MAGAs. And they realized that she was English, and she was finding them an oddity, and they went for her. And the police had to come in and take this English tourist away from them.
I think I'm going to need some protection from Christine Cash in the chat here. She's shouting at me. She's using caps. US, she's in the US. She says, US independent voters have elected the president for decades. He does not have the independent votes. Also, Graham, chill for fuck's sake. Independent voters do not answer polls.
I love that person.
There you go.
Thank you for your help.
Well done. Also, did you see at the
just fucking relax. Okay.
It's a pincer movement, Graham.
Did you see him at the Libertarian conference earlier in the week?
Yes! Oh, that was so good! And that's probably my highlight of the week. He's getting booed. He's getting booed at this conference, and as he leaves the stage, he goes, "Enjoy getting your 3% every 4 years."
Big number of people.
Enjoy getting your 3%. I don't give a shit. He walks off the stage.
He insulted them to their face, and they're all booing it.
Okay, that cheered me up.
Joke. It was
great.
A joke.
You see, Graham, there's another 3%.
And then there you go. It's like really. That's out of the Rishi Sunak playbook of campaigning. Like again, does he want to lose? Because the optics.
Yeah. We've lost John. What happened to John? He just disappeared. Christine Cash has just put some cash in to make me read out what she just already wrote. I assumed that she was writing it and paying for the super chat before it came through, but I will read it again. The US independent voters have elected the president for decades. He does not have independent votes. Graham, chill the fuck out. Independent voters do not enter the polls ever.
Brilliant.
There you go. Christine Cash, voice of America, voice of reason.
So on our little panel that we've got here, who thinks that Trump is going over, and who thinks Biden's going to win?
I think
Biden's going to win.
100. Yeah. I'm not going to be close.
I'm really
paid. Come on, don't let me down.
I'm really iffy here, man. I thought that the worst possible outcome in 2016 would be that Trump won it, so I put a bet on Trump winning it, so that then if he did win it, I would at least win some money. And then
you won money on American Misery.
Did you get some money? Did you get some monies?
I won about 100 quid on it, and
fuck you! I hope you lost it.
I hope you brought rat poison with it and ate it, you bastard.
Let me expand.
In that case, we've got 7 minutes till he has to do one anyway. So
this is okay. So you're right. You're right about that. But also, I do this habitually. Like whenever there's a bit like
everyone in the chat saying
election or referendum, then I did it at Brexit. I was like, the worst.
You voted for Brexit. You voted for Brexit.
I put a bet on Brexit happening, democratically, because I was like, that's the worst thing that could happen. But
irredeemable bastard.
If it does, at least I make 100 quid or 150 quid.
Aid, I'm a patron of your channel. You're a bloody depressing git, aren't you?
Have you just met me?
I know. Of course he's depressed. All comedians are depressed.
I know the dystopia might have been a bit.
You have to be depressed.
The way that I look at things is that if you look at the trajectory of the UK over the last 50 years, it's gradually getting worse. Social mobility is getting worse. People are getting poorer. The government are looking out for them less and less. And so if you start to bet on that, like I put money into gold every fucking payday because I know that gold is like a safe.
And also misery.
That's like if you bet on misery,
all right, Fagin,
and like increasing social inequality, you actually come out on top.
Yeah, but you know what? Gold's rubbish after a nuclear war. It's just radioactive. So, it's not any, so.
Well, there is that, yeah.
Yeah. I need bottle tops.
It's like you're meeting my misery, my depression with more depression. It's like...
John Maud says back in 2 seconds, one angry pagan is very upset that there is no religious symbol for paganism on Google or in the emojis list. But there is no symbol for atheism either. So there you go.
Yeah.
Can we go back to the Trump thing, right?
Yeah, anyway, back to the Trump thing. It's just that Angry Pagan keeps he's put the same messages up. So, yeah, we respect the fact that you're upset about it. We understand why.
So I feel like it's like it could easily be Trump again. Like he could win this. He could inch it. I'm not saying I hope it happens. I hope it doesn't. But I think it's possible. And I think in 2016... we all sold ourselves short by thinking that it wouldn't happen, that everyone would come to our rescue.
We're all blasé to it, 16.
Yes.
We're not blasé to it now.
Yeah.
I hope you're right. I really do. I'd happily lose 100 quid.
Honestly, when you're not sleeping, when one of your kids is up, go and sit and watch the Midas stuff. Watch Michael Cohen and Ben Marcellus.
I watch all that stuff.
Yeah, and they're bringing up the real polls. They're always bringing up the pollsters. Go and look at the Bullwick, which is like the Lincoln Project.
What if it's
all these guys are Republicans.
Look, there's a couple of things. Trump won in 2016, and also Biden is the least popular president ever.
I've got a feeling that.
Lost.
Sorry. I've got a feeling that Trump
is going to be a good night.
Is going to lean into the martyrdom and try and use that to get himself over the line.
100%, but I don't think
100%.
Also, every billionaire apart from Taylor Swift wants him to be president because they think they'll make more money.
Yeah, and then he's going to sit them down. If he gets in, he'll sit them in a room and make them sign all their wealth over to him because he wants to be the first world trillionaire.
Yeah,
he does. He said it, and so they'll all get fucked. And they're stupid. If they want it, that's karma for them. If they want to back him, then let them.
Well, talking of karma, Rachel, we have 2 super chats I need to go through, both about aid. We have Johnny Cophead, first of all, saying, Aid Thompson profiting on others' misery. It should be Tory Aid, not Tory Wayne. Tory Aid sounds like the worst charity ever, doesn't it? Would somebody think of the Tories? But Aid, Serendipity Journey, £2 super chat, thank you very much. Oi, we love Aid. He keeps it bouge.
He does keep it bouge.
Keeps it bouge.
Yeah.
Keep it bouge, baby. All the way.
The thing about Aid's channel, which I really bloody hate, and I watch most of Aid.
Oh my God. It's everything. It's Aid. It's the worst bit of it.
It's that
the worst bit of it is that he is the host.
I wander around the house going, your dad's balls all the time. Because it's that, it gets in your ear. It's a real earworm.
Right. Should just go across the screen and drop the elbow on him.
It really gets in your head.
Aid sends me like messages throughout the day just randomly, and it's him walking down the street just singing your dad's balls at me in like this falsetto.
In a falsetto,
and I'm always worried, like if the kids are with me, and I've got a message from Aid. I better play it. It might be important. I might need to know this. It might be breaking news, and then it's Aid singing your dad's balls.
I didn't know Aid had a falsetto in him.
Oh, he's got a beautiful singing voice.
He's got a lot of stuff in him.
Right, we ain't going there.
Aid, quickly, before you go, you got 1 minute. What was your favourite story of the week? You can mention a story that we've already mentioned, but what was your highlight or low light of the week?
So, okay, super quickly. I've really enjoyed the right-wing tabloid or privately educated right-wing tabloid obsession with private schools. That's been fucking hilarious to me. That's been on a par with like inheritance tax. It's like it's such a detached, clearly like something that you can observe.
He had to go without,
Yeah, it's like
he had to go without food. Don't think so, Tarquin.
These people who inhabit a completely different lived experience to everybody else, and they truly think that working people are gonna care about their private education.
I know, it's amazing.
Yeah,
it's.
Don't somebody think of the privileged.
It's so funny. So that was, I mean, it wasn't my favorite story in the sense that it was like something I was into, but
it's been the best thing watching. I agree with you, Aid. It's been the best thing watching it. Like every time I said, well, we'll have to send our kid to state school, and I'm like, oh, the struggle. Oh,
the struggle is real. The struggle is real.
The state school that we live next door to.
Yeah, because we can afford a house there.
But but it's the sort of right wing brainwashing, because I've sort of said we shouldn't have private schools, like go like some of the European countries, and then we have a better state system. I mean, that's the argument, right? And they go, oh no, because you couldn't flood the state system with all of the children from the private schools. They'd never be able to manage. No, we just make the private school a state school. They wouldn't even have to move.
Yeah.
Well, the staff would have a bit of a wage cut, wouldn't they?
It might be a little wage cut, yeah.
Yeah, and also it won't cost as much per student. At the moment, we subsidise students who go to private schools. The state subsidises them around £25,000 per student per year. For the state schools, the effective subsidy, or the amount it costs, is £8,000. So the taxpayer would actually save a shitload of money. Plus, all these schools would have to be inspected by Ofsted, which they aren't, which is a huge problem with safeguarding. This is why so much sexual abuse goes on in these horrible little see you next Tuesday farms, because they don't need to be inspected by anyone.
This is interesting because it sounds like you've done quite a lot of research on private schools, Graham.
I have.
Funny
you might mention that.
Yeah. If there's a website or something, we could find out who went to this.
Privateschoolmafia.com. Thank you for asking. It's awesome.
Hey, ask Graham about his journeys around the world.
Has he been around the world,
Yeah. I've been to every country in the world. Although, if you type into Google at the moment, if you type into Google at the moment, who was the first person to visit every country in the world without flying, some other guy comes up. So you all need to, if you haven't done this already, please go onto Google and correct Google. Tell feedback this is wrong.
Half a Thursday morning I was doing that.
You're just complaining at them. Good. Sorry?
You should write a book.
I should write a book. I have written a book. It's called Man of the World.
Graham, make sure
Graham Hughes. It's very funny. Two laugh out louds or your money back. Look,
sure you read it really quickly when you.
Here's the link. Here's the link. I put the link in the chat. You can send them. That's my Guinness World Record link to my Guinness World Record. Being the first person. But no, it's the thing is Guinness don't give.
All the time.
Guinness records have to be breakable, so you can't have a record for being the first person to do something anymore.
See, Gray, I was
it's the fastest journey, and it took me 4 years, and it took that other bloke 10 years. So I still have the record.
I was doing like a nice thing to say, like just like crowbar it in a little bit, and then you just steered the fuck into it.
Thank you very much, Sarah, in the chat. Sarah says she did that, so thank you very much, Sarah. You are a legend.
As well.
Absolute legend.
I love that you just had the link ready to go.
I'm glad you asked. Please try the fish. Don't forget to tip your waitress.
Yeah. Can I just ask before I go?
Yes.
Because I'm going to run. Okay, so you've been to the Philippines.
Yes.
You've been to Australia.
Yes.
You've been to.
I lived in Australia.
Alaska. You've been to Alaska?
No, never been to Alaska.
Not a country.
No,
I'm
just asking.
I'm just prodding.
Okay.
Bear with
me. All right. Yeah.
You've been to India.
Yes.
You've been to Afghanistan.
Yes.
Have you ever been to Maidenhead?
No. I have never been to Maidenhead. Not that I know of. I went to a wedding in Kent. I don't think it was in Maidenhead. It might have been. It was a long time ago.
Because Maidenhead's not in Kent.
Yes. Maidenhead's not in Kent.
Is it not?
Well,
there you go.
Berkshire,
definitely not been there then.
It's near Marlow, Henley.
It's in Berkshire.
It's in Berkshire.
You been to the Burkhoff?
I thought Maidenhead was in Kent. Wasn't that where number 73 was set?
That's Maidstone.
Maidstone! Oh, wow! I've got them mixed up all my life.
Oh, this is...
All you southerners look the same to me. I'm sorry. I'm just racist like that.
Right, I'm getting in
the
club.
Bastard. All the maids are the same. They all look the same. That's what it was like growing up, wasn't it, Graham?
Sorry?
That's what it was like growing up. All the maids, they just all look the same, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is like, for me,
fired, the next one came in.
For me, for Southerners, this is like if you spoke to a South Asian person and you told them like something that ended in like Istan is like the same as the other Istan. So it's kind of racist, actually, Graham. So
pretty much is.
I wouldn't get Tajikistan mixed up with my Turkmenistan. But Aid, before you go, were you going to invite me to Maidstone? Is that why you're asking about it?
Why? He doesn't live there.
Maidenhead, whatever. Where are you going to invite me down to Maid Marion to come and have fun with you?
Should we do like a night out, like a lefties night out in my hometown? We could do that.
Yes, we can. In Maid Marion.
Okay.
Maid Marion and her merry men.
See, Graham's written a book about all the places that he's been to around the world, but he don't even know the fucking country that he lives in.
This is rubbish.
I know.
Buy a copy of the Great Brexit Cookbook today. It's all how to eat squirrels.
Oh my god! Have you got a link?
Tripe,
have you got a link to that?
Brain cakes, ox
leave a review on Amazon.
Rabbit pudding, roast pigeons. There you go, roast pigeons. There's a recipe there for roast pigeons. Anyway, yeah. There's a link in the. There's a link. There's a link in the description.
How many books are you?
Oh, I just write. I'm like Stephen King. I just write books randomly. It's my ADHD
with shit endings.
With shit endings. I just don't know how to finish. I just don't know how to finish them.
Also, can I just ask? Do you also write like Stephen King? Like every protagonist is a fucking author.
It's a writer. Yeah, it's basically me. Everyone is me. It's a writer who all gets all the hot chicks for some reason.
Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, right. I gotta go. Right, thank you.
Age of Legends. Thank you very much. Good night. Bye.
See you later. Fuck off.
Balls. Your dad's balls. Andy says, I now realise Graham may be dyslexic. I might be. I can't spell the word dyslexic. Johan is waiting for part 2 because this is part 1.
I've read part 1. I'm
Top of the world. Tell you what, right after the election, things are going to change.
I'm going to download the audiobook because I want to hear this. I want to hear that. I was in Cape Verde and then I wasn't in Cape Verde.
It gets more and more. You know, like those auctioneers you get in America at the meat markets where they go. It's like that by the end.
Oh, Jesus.
Is that because you only had a certain amount of time to do it?
Yeah, because I only had the studio for like just a few days. And basically, it was a mate's studio. If you ever have the fortune of going to see Operation Mincemeat at the West End Theatre where it's on, the guy who wrote that, Felix Hagen, he was the guy who let me use his studio to record my book. There you go. There's a lane to fame.
There you
go. He's a good lad. But yeah. Alec Barrett says, my super chat got missed. I've been cancelled. Oh, no, Alex. Sorry very much for cancelling you. Alex says, I bought loads of stockbroker shares. Then the GE was called. The price went through the roof. Labour is priced in. Pound. PS, GH keys to the WH. This is like that joke about the riddle about the guy goes into the fish and chip shop and he writes on a piece of paper, doesn't he? Like F plus C times 2, and then he puts like C and C plus what times 1, and then he puts like POG at the bottom, hands it over, and they knew he was in the army. How? Because he was wearing his uniform.
Oh, blimey!
It's a shit riddle. Anyway. Better than Bilbo's one, though. What have I got in my pockets? That's not a riddle. Why can we just see the top of Scott's head? What's he doing?
I'm looking for your audiobook on Spotify.
Oh, yeah. Please do. Get a free download of it. I've still never made any money out of that.
Art there, it's what's that Vietnam film? He's sort of gone all kind of the head at the end in the film and the
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, it's all Apocalypse Now in the head with the head in the darkness.
In the head in the darkness.
Heart of Darkness.
The skin dread in the heart in the darkness.
Oh, you come to kill me.
To be fair, I've not said anything about it, but like Scott wearing that skin dread t-shirt today, I was like, my guy.
That's one of my favorite bands ever. What are you talking about?
Do you know Benji DJ'd my 40th?
Did he?
Shut up!
I love Benji so much.
He's the pink toothbrush in Rayleigh.
Oh,
really?
He's a lovely dude.
Yeah,
I toured with them.
I've got a picture somewhere. I'll find it.
Oh, I feel a bit left out here. Everyone's got like, because John's got his Rage Against the Machine banner behind him, and Wayne's got his Muse on, and Scott's got skin. I should have a band t-shirt on, but I don't. No. I've got the Death Star, but it's a Pokeball. That's what I'm wearing.
No, I reached out to Benji on X Twitter because I want to have a chat with him because I've been listening to Phasers to Stun and Unstoppable all this week, just constantly like just bowling to the shop, just like that's my ringwalk music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Great tunes.
They played Wembley, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trying to get your ass out, Scott.
Well, no. Well, I can help you with that. There you. No. They're really great. I met them, toured with them. They were really the nicest band in the world, all of them, and their music is fantastic. Like, there's not a bad album. There's not a bad song. Like, everything they've done has been brilliant. So.
No, I just love it.
And I would also go back to the 90s. I was a massive fan of Dub War. I don't know if anybody.
Dub War.
Wow.
Yeah, huge
Dub War, man.
I've got the album on. I got the first album on vinyl recently. I found it on Discog for about a good amount of money, and I bought it. But I was like, I gotta have it. So I love the board. Great. But Reggie's just a talent. He really is.
He's a really nice guy. Lovely bloke.
Should we quickly go around and ask everyone else what their sort of story of the week was? I can start with Rachel. What was your story of the week, for good or ill? What was the thing that sort of? I mean, it might have been something we've already mentioned. But
I just thought obviously the Conservative campaign's been backfiring. Like, that I love the video of that girl going, which Michael Spicer then took the fact was that they've been banging on about Mickey Mouse degrees, and then he just stood there with a Mickey Mouse.
He stood there.
That was for me. That was the best moment in that you've been rubbishing all these courses, which lots of kids want to do.
Yeah.
Some people don't do a degree to get a job. Some people do a degree for interest, or they do it just to enlighten their minds, or whatever. But the fact was they were using Mickey Mouse all day on Sky and all the other channels, and then he stood there with the big Mickey Mouse ears. That was for me my moment of the
week. It was quite delightful. I've got the bloke somewhere. Hang on, where is he?
Is it Michael Spicer's thing? It's brilliant.
Yeah. If I just fade him in here he is for you. He's currently blocking Wayne. Wayne can't be seen now. Where's Rachel gone? I'm going to replace Rachel with the blocking bloke who just blocks people.
Is this what you were doing earlier with the Ross?
Yeah, because he blocks people. There you go. Oh, there you go. Just block it. I'm just going to leave him in the corner here next to John. There you go. You guys can't see it because I've got a feed coming out to you, but he's just standing there. If anyone says anything that annoys me, I'm just going to block you with the Tory block man. I'll block myself. I'll block the chat. Blocking the chat's always fun. Say nice things about the Tories, or we will block the chat with the Tory blocker man. Here he is. Someone should make like a lemming out of him, with his arms out like that, like the lemming that used to block you and make everyone else turn back. But there you go. There's our blocky guy there.
That was I mean, obviously, I love the fact that Trump got indicted, but that just made me laugh out loud.
I mean, there is a rumor going round that someone in the Tory camp is like a Lib Dem or
But your end of the agenda this afternoon, where you had the guy, the SPAD sort of sweeping, I hadn't seen that bit, so I didn't. When I posted it in Labour Social this morning, the video of Michael Spicer or whatever, I didn't know about the SPAD walking in front of her. I didn't know that.
What happened? What was this?
So there was a photo op with like he was being interviewed, and instead of putting party supporters behind him, it was like people working in a shop or a factory or something. So just random people.
The girl, I saw the girl.
And she's rolling her eyes, and obviously one of his advisors was like trying to stand in front of her in the most awkward, trying to block her from the shot, and you can see her head coming up.
I only saw the faces. I didn't see anyone trying to block her.
Yeah. You need to watch the Michael Spicer Man Next Door. The Man Next Door sketch. He put that out super fast. I was very impressed. Damien Pritchard, thank you very much for the super chat. I am from Blackpool, but live in Southeast London, Surrey. They often get confused. I'm from Blackburn or Liverpool.
Southeast London, Surrey.
That's no, that's not right. That's
my favourite joke when someone says, I say to them, "Where are you from?" and they say Surrey, and I say, "Don't be sorry. It's not your fault. You didn't ask to be born in Surrey." There was a line here from Alan Poe saying Labour campaigning strong should be Sheriff Fat Man by Carter, which I kind of agree with to a certain extent, but I don't know. I don't know if it'll go down too well with the home counties. We've lost John. John's disappeared. I don't know what we said to him.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
He's coming back with that little sultry smile of his on his picture. Yeah.
So Wayne, what was your sort of story this week? What was your that tickled your fancy or boiled your piss?
As I said to you in the group chat earlier, the whole Diane Abbott thing, it reminded me of a quote from excuse me. Oh,
you all right?
No, I'm full of cold. Full of cold at the minute.
Okay.
But
I thought you said something else.
I thought he said something else as well. I was like, bloody hell, Wayne.
Oh no,
it's not that kind of party.
Right.
Definitely
not that. But it reminded me, like Keir Starmer's treatment of Diane Abbott reminded me of a Tony Benn quote where he spoke about there are some politicians that are weather vanes and some are signposts. And it made me think, Starmer's weather vane, because he will just literally just flap whatever way it's going, whatever way gets him over the line. And I was just like, do you know what, bruv? Like, just stand up and just go, nah, we ain't having this. And if you think about their constituencies as well, you've got Diane Abbott in Stoke Newington and North Hackney, which has got the biggest Hasidic Jewish community in it. You've then got Jeremy Corbyn, which is just next door to this same constituency. You've then got, excuse me, Keir Starmer, who's in the same arena, Emily Thornberry, the most sort of like diverse area of London, like proper. Like I know this bit of London really well, right? Even though I'm from Essex.
Is that because London and Essex are the same thing?
I swear.
But isn't like Liverpool and Manchester the same? Because that's all Lancashire.
How dare you! How very dare you!
Same area.
How very dare you!
Thank you, John.
me and Terry Christian will come and kick your ass.
It's all Lancashire area. It's all the same, isn't it?
We did both used to be in Lancashire. That is very true. We're the historic county of Lancashire, and that's why if we die without a will or dependents, our money goes to King Charles. Yep. Well done, Rachel. You get the points.
Yeah.
Goes to the king.
But my grievance is the problem with calling someone a certain thing. I'm not going to say it because I'm trying not to get us like demonetized again.
Yeah.
But they're all in the same area. They all serve the same constituents, and they all have the same people in that constituent. So how can you start chucking these labels at people and then banning them from your party when you just live next door?
Yeah, but it's not about it's not about the political opinions necessarily. It's about not wanting Labour to win the election, seemingly. If you're going to criticise the party that you're in, if you're an actor and you're in a film and then you're doing the publicity circuit and you're saying it's a shit film, don't go and see it. What's the Chops did for Madam Web earlier this year. I mean, they're not going to invite you back to make another film, are they?
No, but it's the ostracisation of one person who you know full well is like on the same page as you, but it does
not if they're slagging off the party all the time and saying, Labour's crap these days. We used to be way funnier than this. It's like people reading the Viz. It used to be funnier.
It's different because it's personal. It's like kneecapping someone because don't agree with you.
No, it's not. It's a political party, isn't it? Look, if you were in the Greens, right, and all you did was say that climate change wasn't real, do you think they might want to get rid of you?
Yeah, I agree with that, but I think you've
or the Greens are full of shit.
I think you've gone to a different level there.
Why? She has undermined Starmer at as much as she can. She went as far as saying that he would have supported the war in Iraq. Now, if a Tory MP had said that, I'd be sitting here going, bloody hell, what a Tory... Blah, blah, blah. He actually, when he was a human rights lawyer back in the day, he actually wrote an article for The Guardian, you can go look it up, him saying that the war in Iraq is illegal and immoral. It's still on the Guardian website. You can go and read it. So for her to say that, it's completely out of order.
Yeah,
and the fact that she's staying in the party, I'm kind of like, I don't care either way.
No. But the difference is, like, she apologised, and it was sort of like just put under the radar. It was all sorted out in December, and we only find out about it now.
Yeah, that was a bit weird. I'd like to know more about that, to be honest with you. But yeah,
it's very strange.
And then finally, they bring her back in a day before everyone stops being an MP.
Yeah, I mean, also again, dragging your feet, and we sorry, we did talk a little bit about it before you showed up, Wayne.
Sorry.
No, it's absolutely fine. It's just I thought it was weird how this has gone on for 2-3 days. You know what I mean? It was very easy for Kirsten Almer to just go. She can run if she wants. You know what I mean? Like,
bro, it's been 6 months.
But no. I mean, I'm talking about in the last week where it was this idea that she was the Times are saying, that she had been banned, which
wasn't true.
Yeah, which wasn't true. But at the same time,
not that ever bothers the Murdoch press.
A lot quicker,
Well, Scott, what was your sort of story of the week? What was your sort of highlight or low light
on this? I'm living for the gaffes and the ridiculousness of the Tory campaign. His advisors literally do not want him to win in any way, shape, or form. They're, I think, setting things up on purpose to make him look ridiculous and stupid. And I live for every entertaining moment of it.
I'm going to have to cover you at the bloke because you're saying mean things about Rishi. So you're now covered by a bloke. He's just going to stand there. If you move your arms, you might be... if you move your arms, you'll be able to see your arms. Oh no, we've lost John again. I was just about to ask him about his...
I'm like a big Gumby air machine now.
I guarantee Larry the cat is setting up tripwires outside.
I mean, like, and the campaign manager has approved it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous what's being.
But it's also absolutely beautiful.
Today this was brilliant. Today a kid walked up to him and said, "Why do you hate young people?"
Yeah, that
was so good.
How was that even allowed to happen?
Why do you hate young people? Because he does. And do you hear what he said to him? Because he said, I already volunteer. Why do you want me to do national service? And he said, "Oh, you'll love it."
Yeah, you'll love it. It's great.
You'll love it.
When did that become a thing?
It happened today. I think Tan summed it up by saying, like, the thick of it writers couldn't have written this. I mean, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like the plan is to lose. That the premiership almost now is a poison chalice.
100%.
They are willing to hand to Labour.
Yeah, it's as I say every week, it's Brewster's millions. He has to lose with no votes. That's what they've set him up to do. You can't get a vote, Rishi. This is the plan.
Yeah, this is the plan. You have to look so dumb. And who cares? Because in 6 months, you'll be living in the sun of LA. Your kids will be in private school. You're going to live the life of Riley. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
you wouldn't have to pay VAT on the private school fees, probably. Yeah. John, can I bring you in before you disappear again? What was your sort of highlight or low light of the week? Was there something that?
I'm having a few technical problems tonight, everybody. Sorry about that.
No,
to say the least. So my story of the week. Just what was being said then. Actually, my son is doing A-level politics. His exams as we speak.
Oh, good lad.
And
good lad.
He genuinely feels that Sunak is trying to lose the election. He genuinely feels he's trying to throw the election because Sunak knows what's around the next corner from the Brexit fallout, the proper Brexit fallout, and all sorts of stuff that's going to come along the track. Yeah. And him and his 18-year-olds friends they're convinced. They are convinced that he's actually trying to lose the election on purpose. But anyway, my story of the week. So it was the end of Parliament. And and what happens at the end of every parliament, they usually do what's called the valedictory speeches, which is where all of the MPs that are leaving they all sort of gather together in the chamber and they do one last speech, and it's all very nice. It's normally sort of very, very sort of nice, and opposite sides are all polite to each other, and it's all very.
You're my colleagues, and I love you all. Yeah,
that sort of thing. But Julian Knight, MP, the Conservative MP Julian Knight, stood up, and he absolutely tore shreds out of the Conservative Party in the chamber. It was just like, wow. Honestly, go and have a look at it. It's on YouTube. They're called the valedictory speeches, and they're usually very nice. He stood up, and he was just like, he absolutely tore the party to shite. It was amazing to watch. So that was my. It hasn't really hit the radar a lot on a lot of the news, but I was just wide open watching that, thinking, "Oh my god, wow!"
I'm gonna have to check that out.
I was gonna say they shared the shit out of that.
Solihull's MP Julian Knight absolutely just tore the Conservatives apart from his own benches as his last speech. Wow. It was wonderful.
Wow. That's awesome. Can we talk a little bit about national service though? Because that came this week. There's been so much of it.
I'm not going to lie to you about this, and I don't want to talk about it. It's not going to happen.
No. Okay, so the question is then, why do they bring this up? Like, why bring this up? Knowing they're not going to win.
The over 80 voters.
I'll tell you for why. Because they want to appeal to the fucking boomers. All right.
The reform voters.
It's the people who watch the Battle of Britain every Sunday. They love it. They love that stuff.
Exactly. The people that watch the fucking History Channel.
Yeah.
You know,
all day, every day.
Do you know what's interesting?
Hunting Nazis.
So people are still buttering their bread with dried up oil.
I mean, the weird thing is, right, if it was like the original, like Get Some In, the 1970s comedy, if it was proper national service, barracks all over the UK, you're in the RAF, in the army, you learn a skill, you can take it to university, you get free education, that I could sort of get behind that in this sort of new Cold War we're going into, that maybe we should. But you'd have to give them something to do it, i.e. free education, a skill. But that's not this. This is nothing like that. So I'm not behind it, and I don't blame the kids for. And I can't stand Wes Streeting because of his views on trans, but he did say they've done their they've done their time. They stayed at home for a year so people wouldn't die of COVID.
He did actually
their education. They messed up their social life. They messed up their social progression. They've done their part.
Well, he was right. But he did steal that line from Marina Perkis, who said it earlier that day.
Rachel, to your point, if you look at all the arenas where people would do their national service, places like Rendlesham in Suffolk, right, all been sold off.
Yeah,
where are they going to go?
Yeah, when I worked in defence right through the 80s, all the bases I used to go to are all housing estates. They pulled all they're all there's none of them are left.
Yeah, so where are they going to put these people? Where are they going to say go and do your bit?
Well, probably got them to do all the shit that the foreign workers before Brexit used to do. You know, national service will be picking fucking apples from trees and shit. Do you know what I mean? Because they got no foreign workers to do it anymore. That will be the national service.
But I don't think that should be young people. Young people have got enough to do. It should be older people who are retired, and it should be completely voluntary. If you want to be part of our land army, an army. I'd love that. I love the army. We'll give you a little uniform.
Don't panic.
We'll give you a little flower to wear so you can be all right on and woke and everything. And virtue, signal your virtue to the world using a poppy.
Leon's going to be signing up because he wants to live in his tent at 6 o'clock in the morning and get up for his cold.
Yeah, you're hard. You know, these kids are pussies. You're the hard one. Go out there and show us how hard you really are.
Freckle Puny, thank you very much for the £5 super chat, mate.
See you at the funeral.
National service, Johnson serviced the nation for years. That's one way of putting
it. More like Johnson serviced the nation for years. In the sense that he shagged every woman he can get his fucking dirty little hands on.
And he's a horrible little fucking dwarf of a man.
But he's rich, Wayne. He's rich. He's rich and he's charismatic.
But No.
Just imagine how dangerous I would be if I had money. Oh.
You have to.
Graham, be a lot more ginger kids running around. That's all I have to say. What?
Graham, you could leave your hat on.
Absolutely. That's my favourite Tom Jones song. I just wanted to say some MRP polling has come in from Elect Calculus. Without tactical voting, Labour are set to win 493 seats. But they're saying with tactical voting, Labour are going to win fewer seats. But then so are the Tories. So with tactical voting, they're saying the Tories are going to win 7. Without tactical voting, they're saying they're going to win 72. And with it, they're saying 66. I mean, I don't know who at Elect Calculus are.
Calculus you have to take with a pinch of salt.
I think that
their methods aren't quite.
Yeah, I think that Phil Morehouse would have a field day with this.
They're
Labour's
not
going to win by 500 seats. Is a little, out there.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, John, I was going to say, what do you know about this outfit? Are they a viable sort of like
Who Calculus?
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting way. It's always been a really interesting website, right? Okay, it's a very, very. They have their own methods of MRP, as Graham's called. As just said, it's a little bit different how they do it to others. And the problem with MRP is that with the electoral calculus, in my opinion, and I'll just stress this is just my opinion, they have always over-egged the Labour vote a little. Through their methods. Now, I'm not saying they do it on purpose at all. I just think it's just the way that they do the calculations, because it doesn't help. And I think the reason why with tactical voting, Labour have less seats, perversely, is that there are certain seats where the Lib Dems actually potentially would do very well, where Labour just won't really quite cut it. And the problem is electoral calculus still put Labour's percentage higher than the Lib Dems. So people look at it and thinking, I've got to vote Labour here, Tories. And that's not the case. So I find them a frustrating kind of outfit, but they are useful. There's some really good stuff on the website, don't get me wrong, but I just think the methodology is quite there. So it's just good to, as an interesting thing to read on anything, but not to take fully seriously.
But the rest of politics have been doing these weekly polls now, the sort of Rory and they're showing Labour and they keep, well, the last one I heard, and I might have read this wrong, but they said that the Labour were only leading by 12 points in their poll, and they're using a polling company to create their polls for their podcast. And I was like, really? Where are you doing this? And how are you calculating that? It's a really depressing poll. It's like, it's getting closer and blah, blah, blah. But it fails 12 points. I don't know.
It's weird. I think, and also when you see these exaggerated polls, I can't help but wonder whether these exaggerated polls are being put out by the media, so that when Labour does win, and it doesn't win by 400 seats or whatever, it could be looked at as a loss. Polls compared to the polls, they didn't do as well as they thought they were going to. I think that's part of this.
There's a lot of clickbait in polls. I mean, that's what we were talking about earlier, Scott. In America, that MSNBC and CNN, they're putting out polls that show Trump ahead, even though he's not, for clickbait, because people watch that. They go, "Oh my God, how's he ahead?" And they watch that program, and they get the adverts, they get the advertising, and so the sort of the mainstream media in America keep putting out polls, whereas when you look at the real pollsters, the ones that do the work, are going, no, he's not. Because
Rachel, you're going to trigger Graham now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we don't want to do that.
I'm just saying,
an unexploded bomb, isn't it?
I thought that we weren't going to get the Brexit vote through. I thought that Trump wasn't going to win in 2016.
We're more aware of it now than we were in 2016.
Again, he lost in 2016.
No, but he didn't. He didn't lose, did he, Scott? Because all of his little minions turned up at the US Parliament building and tried to take it over.
This week in the barbershop, I honestly think that either way, there will be political violence in America after the election.
Oh, you reckon?
I think either way, because either way, it will be a case of the MAGA people going so absolutely mental in celebration that they'll go crazy and tear places up. Or
and Trump will command his stormtroopers to shoot Antifa.
But the thing is that this is the fault of the fucking media.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because these
Murdoch.
They need something to watch.
Fox News,
I nearly used a C-bomb right then.
Grant used a C-bomb earlier, so it's okay.
These See You Next Tuesdays, right?
Yeah.
All they're trying to do is direct people to their channel, and click on their shit, and then you go out and you fight all these wars. We're going to sit here and eat our popcorn.
Film it, and then the people at home can watch.
We're just sitting like.
And here's the thing. The people who will fight in the war, in the upcoming war, the war to be, one side are going to be fighting for democracy and freedom, and the other side are going to be fighting for some bloke.
Yeah.
That's how mad it's going to be.
I'll get so frustrated with these free speech absolutists until it's someone talking about your shit.
Yeah.
Now you got a problem.
Yeah.
Hello. Sorry, I lost the internet. My internet just disconnected for a moment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do one C-bomb.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Right. So if it does go off in America, the problem is all of the MAGA cunts have got the guns.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Well, there's a very big misconception that they have all the guns. Democrats own guns too.
Yeah, but Democrats might own one gun that they keep in a safe, whereas the MAGA lot own 100 guns that they keep in their children's toy boxes.
Yeah, but it only takes one bullet.
Yep.
And if you're a good shot, that's all you need to be.
Yeah.
Donald Trump.
There's a lot of weaponry in the US that simply does not exist in other countries to any comparable level. And that is a huge worry.
But
let's just do a quick round robin. How many people here know someone who owns a gun? And where is that gun?
I stayed at my friend's house in America back in 2008. And her husband at the time was in Iraq because he was in the army. So it was just, she was alone with her 3 kids in what one would call the hood. So in the spare bedroom, I stayed in the spare bedroom. And I remember I didn't sleep very well because I could just feel something in my back on the mattress. So I looked under the mattress and there was a sawed-off shotgun I was sleeping on top of.
Oh my God!
That's
and I said to her, I said, "Why is there a fucking shotgun underneath my mattress?" And she goes, "I'm alone in a house with 3 children."
And one day she might have a day when she's sad and decides. Anyway,
she's fine. The kids are alive. They're all adults now. It's all good.
Thank God for that. Damien, by the way, owning a gun makes you 7 times more likely to be killed with a gun. Super chat, thank you very much. And Damien Pritchard there. Rachel, thank you. As a father of a trans kid, you gave me good advice. I'm still confused though. That's from Damien.
Welcome.
Yes.
I'll talk to Rachel. She'll sort it out.
That's for Rachel. I owe Rachel a drink.
Will be the mead to your Graham.
What's your tipple of choice, Rachel? Are you partial to a martini?
It sounds a bit champagne socialist, but
yeah,
I gave up drinking for 5 years, and when I came back, the only thing I liked was champagne.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay. I don't know how much champagne I can get you for £5, but
Prosecco, Cava, or champagne. That's me.
Okay, we'll sort that out.
I'm a cheap date, but that's what I like. Or somewhat Cremant, my wife. And so Friday night, as you know, we had a bottle every Friday night. Bottle of something to celebrate the week. We've looked for something to celebrate. Trump losing his case yesterday was a fuck Trump toast this evening.
So sparkling white wine.
Yeah, anything with bubbles. I'm a cheap date.
Love it.
Skinhead says, I heard some royal towns have dug some trenches in the US. And Trump James is saying, who cares about guns? Don't bring a gun to a drone fight. And this is the thing, if Trump doesn't win and his proponents go mental, okay, the US Army has drones. Good luck, lads. The MAGA don't stand a chance against them. However, if Trump wins, he's in charge of the drones.
Yeah, but if you
not going to win though, Graham,
and they go nuts, you don't think they're not going to be prepared from last time? They're not learned any lessons from last time. They're just mowing them down this time. Do you know what I mean?
They've got like zombie fucking trucks.
Sorry. Scott, Preppers. What are you saying about they've not learned anything?
What I'm saying is that, after the insurrection, a lot of lessons obviously were learned. You know,
really?
That they weren't prepared for that insurrection at the time. They didn't know. They it was all very. I don't know if you watched it. I watched it in real time. It was all very.
I watched it.
Shit, we better get the military police down here. And I think this time they'll be a little bit more prepared for any trouble.
Yeah, but they can be prepared down at the Capitol. But what about just normal people who just hate each other and have neighbours who put up flags that annoy them in the back garden, and they go out and tell them one day, go, Trump sent me to kill you.
No, I'm done. You can't patrol everywhere.
Exactly. That's my worry. I'm not. This is the thing. It's like we talk a lot about sort of revolutions and wars. I mean, everybody think about what it's actually like down on the ground for people living through these. And the worst war to live through is a civil war. The vast majority of people do not die in a blaze of glory defending the American flag. They die alone, scared, wet, of disease and starvation.
Yeah, but then that is saying that the whole of the America will collapse if one or the other wins. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there'll be some political violence.
Yeah, I think America will collapse if Trump wins.
Yeah,
Trump wins. But if he doesn't win, I don't think there will be.
I think Europe will collapse as well.
What?
I think Europe will collapse because he's got to pull out of NATO. If Trump wins, he's pulling out of NATO straight away. Yeah. That's his big Brexit thing.
Win.
Yeah, but the positive of that, and it's not a positive, but it's a positive, is that NATO, all my friends in military in lots of other countries, they're gearing up, they're buying stuff, they're getting ready, which they weren't doing before because they were all kind of relying on America. Now, I hope America stays in NATO, and I think it's great. But in a way, it's quite good that we are training up and getting our armies ready because, if that...
But what do we do? What do we do if Lithuania is invaded by Putin?
Are they a member of NATO?
Yep.
We fight back. That's the agreement.
So that's it. We're at war with a vast nuclear power.
Yeah, but... Yeah.
It's not the future I want for me.
They've got nuclear missiles. You're back to the Cold War. They're just going to use nuclear missiles. Well, I don't think they're going to use nuclear missiles.
No, they won't. But we'll be fighting in Europe. Well, we are at the moment in Ukraine. But
I know, and I don't want that to happen. But if we are going to fight it, we need to be ready to fight it.
But we'll be fighting it because of Trump. Because of one squishy, overweight, orange pig man.
He's not going to win.
Rapist, felon.
But Rachel, you know this better than I, that America have got 900 bases around the world, right? So if it kicks off, they're tooled up and ready to go.
If Russia invaded Poland or somewhere and the European goes to war, I don't think America's going to come in on the side of Russia.
Yeah, but I don't think they're just going to sit back either and just go, "Oh, what's happening here?" Do you really think Trump?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Yes, he will. Of course, he will. That's what America did in World War One, and it's what they did in World War Two.
He wants to go. He wants to go full Handmaid's Tale and put a wall up and be isolationist. He's not going to give a toss what any other country's doing. He wants.
But that.
You think not?
It's not just Trump that's in charge, right? It's a lot of.
Yes, it is. He is commander in chief of the.
Because I mean, when he dropped do you remember when he was in a bit of political bother and he dropped the mother of all bombs just for the sake of it? Didn't do anything. It was unjustified.
Well, here's something for you. As the chief of the head of the military, the US president can invade any country they want, anywhere in the world, just on their say-so. Okay. And then they have to put their case forward in Congress. And if Congress say no to the invasion, they've got 6 weeks to return the troops back to America.
And we've got the other thing, because we all bang on about Trident. We all bang on about Trident all the time. We can't even deploy Trident without that twat's fucking approval. How bad's that?
Yeah, we are having trouble launching our tridents at the moment.
I mean, we're laughing about it. There's people in the chat saying, why are you talking about nuclear weapons? Probably not going to be used. They probably won't be used. They might not be used. Who knows? You know, I don't trust Putin as far as I can spit. He might use a tactical nuclear weapon in Ukraine, especially if Trump gets re-elected and Ukraine is just left to fend for itself.
He's not going to be elected.
But whether that happens or not, the idea of the rest of Europe going to war with Russia is not something that fills me with glee.
I don't want that to happen. I really don't.
No, I don't want that to happen.
Honestly, don't want that to happen. And Trump's going to win. But all I'm saying is that if that does happen, NATO needs to be ready for it. And that's all we need to. And it's not a silver lining. I just think that NATO is gearing up for it.
Yeah.
Imagine that though. Imagine like World War III. And America's the baddie. Did anyone make a movie where that happened in the 1970s?
I know. I'm ashamed.
They should have done.
All those people that fought against fascism in America in the Second World War, and now they're just inviting it in. It just makes me so sad.
Voting for it. He said he's going to be a dictator on day one.
Wow.
Yep.
He's not going to win.
Scott's like,
fuck me.
Yeah. Scott's going to mail.
He doesn't win the 13 keys to the White House, does he? He
hasn't said. He hasn't said the guy who does the keys thing. He hasn't said what his prediction is for this election yet.
No, not yet.
He said
neither is the monkey, and neither is the crystal ball, and all the other bullshit.
What about that gopher guy? Is it going to be a long winter or what?
Gordon.
Yeah, Gordon the turtle.
Gordon the gopher.
Gordon the gopher.
Jupp James in the chat is saying, Graham, the Russian military is not a threat for the EU. They might not be on their own, but
we're well trained and we've got better weapons. But
what about China?
Yeah,
they're much more friendly to Russia than they are to us.
Yeah. They're going to let China will sit back and let us blow each other apart.
Exactly, and then China will just flex and just be like, "Yeah, we're having all of this."
Yeah, that's exactly true. I think that. I have to go. My wife.
Oh no, Rachel. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, we're going to wrap up. We're going to wrap up in about 10 minutes anyway. So thank you.
Stuff.
You're awesome, and enjoy Pride Month when it starts in about an hour's time.
Thank you, everybody in the chat. And Trump is not going to win, Graham. Have a good
go to sleep tonight.
Sleep easy. Sleep easy. Yeah. See you, Rachel. Ta-da. Right. It's just us lot left now. We're going to wrap up in about 10 minutes' time. But before we do, is there any other news stories that you want to sort of pick up on? That you want to go, look at this thing that happened this week. What a crazy time.
Where do we
to
start?
Be alive.
We're in election time, aren't we?
We are in election time.
Everything's great. It's the fast show. Everything's brilliant.
Who's running the best campaign, do you reckon, so far, John?
John, do you like cheese? Do you like peas?
Do you like Labour? Who's got the best campaign so far? I don't know. I've not really been paying attention to the campaigns because, and I genuinely think I don't think the campaigns are going to be anywhere near as relevant this time round for this election. They can almost say what the hell they like because I think the majority of people have made their minds up how they want to, it's a sea change election, I think. So I don't really think it makes a difference. And I think really Labour know that. That's why they've been trying to play it safe. All right, we've had the Diane Abbott stuff going on, which hasn't helped, which is their own fault. But really, Lib Dems are just doing crazy shit. So they're fun to watch. Keep that going. The reform had just gone back to the square root of the reform and Brexit and all that jazz, haven't they? I think they've shot themselves in the foot already.
Yeah.
And the Conservatives, it's just bloody funny to watch, isn't it? It's brilliant. I mean, watching the Conservatives at the moment is just brilliant TV.
Did you hear
just know they're going to screw something else up?
Did you see the Byline Times piece about Jonathan Gullis? Did you see this today? He took a five-figure donation from JCB and then stayed silent when the company axed hundreds of jobs from his constituency just 2 weeks later. But how is that not a crime? That is literally paying off an elected official to not stand up for their constituents.
That's just fucking bullshit.
That's insane, because I think JCB, it's his constituency they're based in, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's Stoke or the Potteries around there that JCB are based. The JCB are massively Tory, apparently.
Oh,
so.
yeah.
Hugely. They invited Boris.
Yeah. And Bamford, is it Bamford, the guy behind JCB? He's the guy who was like massively a leaver as well. One of these rich, probably privately educated gobshites who, Brexit doesn't affect them. I keep saying this. Brexit doesn't affect the rich. It only affects the rest of us who have to pay now to go and live and work in Europe. And we don't have the money for that. They do. Talking of money, Damien Pritchard, thank you very much for the super chat. Make no mistake, China hate the hegemony of Russia. May well be true. I mean, it would be a bit mad for them to actually go on the side of Russia, considering Russia is not the most stable of economies in any way, shape, or form, and just having a few people with a lot of money and a lot of people with no money isn't a great marketplace to sell your goods. Whereas Europe, where there's a lot of people with quite a decent amount of money, it's a good place to sell your goods. Right. Alec Barrett, thank you very much for the £5 super chat. My dad doesn't think Abbott will last the next parliament with her Parkinson's. Does that Diane Abbott have Parkinson's?
Because she was shaking the microphone when she was talking at the last rally this week. It was quite a violent shake that she had. I didn't know if it was nerves. Obviously, I don't think she's ever made an announcement about being sick with anything. So I think that's a lot of speculation. And
right, okay, all right. Well,
that sort of remark also feels very problematic.
Okay. A very good friend of mine was diagnosed with Parkinson's last month, and he's only 43. And if you want to, he's doing a walk for charity for young people who have Parkinson's. I've just put the link in the chat there, but it is a horrible affliction. One of our family friends, good family friends, who's
friend of mine,
my dad's generation, was diagnosed with it a couple of years ago, and it's one of them, isn't it? It's like cancer or dementia. We just don't have any kind of cure for it.
No,
you slow it down a bit, maybe.
Yeah,
but
and it kicks in like that.
Yeah. So I don't, but I think, I think that's just a really problematic comment that people want to have a go at her about something, because she is who she is.
Well, I've put the link into the chat there. Matt's trying to raise £10,000, and so far he's got £7,060, which is absolutely awesome.
Well played.
And he's doing a walk for Parkinson's. Matt's worked in the charity sector for many years, and he's raised millions for different charities. And now it's a case of we need more research in Parkinson's, and it breaks my heart that we could be researching it. We could be researching cures for all kinds of different cancers. We could be researching cures for
today. Did you hear
Alzheimer's?
The story today?
Go on.
The story today about how the MMR jab is going to be used to treat and eliminate cancers in everybody.
Oh wow!
This is they're trialing it for the next 7 years. But what it does, they strip the DNA from the tumor, so that the shot then makes it so the immune system attacks that DNA and then therefore kills the cancer. It's an incredible story.
Yeah. I'm looking at this now. This is in the the anti-cancer activity of measles, mumps, rubella vaccine viruses against glioblastoma. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but gas. It's I don't think it's all cancers, but
there's a few of them, and then but it could lead to more.
The problem is with cancer is everything, but your body doesn't react to it because it's your body that's
the
code. It's not an external virus. Yeah,
but that's the point of this vaccine.
Yeah, telling your body that's something wrong, sort that shit out.
Yeah, because it's coming from your DNA.
Yeah. The most poetic and yet horrifying quote about cancer was from for me was from Christopher Hitchens before he died. He said it's like being pregnant, but with death, because it's your body taken out of you. So yeah, someone had a go at me earlier on the chat because I mentioned about that whole thing about me, finishing the journey around the world before anyone else. And they said, "Oh, but you had a break," and I'm like, "Yeah, I went home because my sister was dying of cancer." Do you know what I mean? It's like, "Oh no, you shouldn't have done that. You should have started again from the beginning." And I'm like, "I made it up. I made up the Guinness World Record. I went to Guinness and said, can I stop this at any point and leave and go home if I have to for medical reasons or whatever?" And then continue the journey. And said, yeah, as long as you don't fly as part of your journey, you can continue on. So every time I'm sort of criticized for flying home halfway through, it just brings up like literally the worst thing that's happened to me in my life, which is why, I tend not to.
This is why you should not listen to so many people on the internet, because they will literally.
But this is Google. This is Google saying that my Guinness World Record doesn't count for some reason because my sister got cancer. And so you can see how that upsets me. I don't care what people say on the internet.
Have you got people watching this? Have you got your award?
I've got my Guinness World Record.
There you go. That's all.
And I'm in the book.
Fucking matters.
No, but if you type, no, it's not, because I used to get emails quite a lot from people saying, "Oh, you're the first person to do this. I've looked you up online and would love you to come and talk at our event." I don't get those anymore. Because when they type in, first person to go to every country in the world without flying, they find someone else. Who was sponsored by an oil company, by the way.
All right, well, that's different. Then you need to lean in and start fucking getting crowbars out.
Bit easier to get sponsorship when someone's already done it.
Yeah.
As opposed to, yeah, I think I can do it. Are you sure? No one's done it before. How do you know? I think it's possible. Bit of perseverance. But yeah, anyway. Cluster Bungle says, so many incurable conditions that could and should have been getting so much more research. This is what I was saying, Scott, just a minute ago when I was saying, we could be funding research into this stuff, but we're spending money on shite instead. We're spending money on weapons to kill kids in Gaza. We're spending money, defending Ukraine against Russian aggression. Putin, I'm sure they could take Putin out. I don't mean for a nice meal.
People could be saving the fucking world from all the ailments that we have. If we use,
could be doing something about climate change.
We literally throw down the toilet.
Super yachts, mate. The rich need their super yachts.
Yeah, well, they still have it. That's the problem.
£44 billion.
People would be alive to work for them.
£44 billion is what Elon Musk, the snake oil space salesman, spent on Twitter, and now it's worth about £2.50.
Mm.
Where's that money gone?
You spoke about super yachts.
Well, that money went to the owners, didn't it?
Yeah,
I was watching. I caught highlights of the Monaco Grand Prix just this last weekend, and I was just sitting there going, "How much fucking money is just getting, to use Boris's term, spaffed up the wall for a weekend?" It was shocking. The amount of cars and look at me.
Well, I don't know. I mean, when it comes to sporting events, and and there's some sporting events I don't really care about, but people enjoy it, and I think
I've never understood how riding a car around a circuit was.
But some people love it, and being alive isn't just about surviving; it's about being alive, and some people really enjoy that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So my point wasn't spend the money on Monaco necessarily, but because people can enjoy that all over the world. They can watch it on TV if that's what they're into. Whereas if a billionaire owning a mega yacht, only the billionaire gets to use that. It's not really benefiting anyone.
So it's not the only place they hold the Grand Prix, is it? Like, no. They hold
all over the world,
all sorts of places.
Yeah, like Pang, the game Pang, where you blew up the balloons with the harpoons. Pang. Does anyone remember Pang? You travelled around the world blowing up balloons.
No.
With a harpoon.
No.
No, but I
know the one who remembers Pang. Someone in the chat, help! Someone in the chat's got to say something.
Bruv, I'm the same age as you, and I don't fucking remember that game.
That was a Liverpudlian thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, One Angry Pagan is saying, this is why research and development is one of my policy priorities for an incoming Labour government. I think you're right, One Angry Pagan. Absolutely. It should be. We should be looking at how to cure this stuff and how to fix it.
But even that, R&D's been corrupted, isn't it? In America. Massively.
R&D?
Yeah.
Research and development. Yeah.
Well, yeah, the conspiracy theorists have done a really good job of that. You know,
because they
but again, another victim of the useless education system of America.
But they seem to outsource it to like universities, so their students can get good grades, and then they nick it and say, "Yeah, this is ours."
Capitalism.
Yeah.
well, I mean, in the US, like, I mean, this happens over here, isn't it? Where scientists will make a breakthrough and then it's taken by somebody else. And this happened with a lot of women scientists over the years, where when they were doing their PhD, and whoever was their PhD advisor or supervisor would take the credit. They will get the credit for the work that women did on their PhDs, especially in science. Absolute disgrace.
Wow.
And the guys who discovered the structure of DNA, Watson and Crick, it was actually, I've forgotten her name now. Oh, someone's going to tell me in the chat. Rosamund. It was a woman who, she was an American woman who actually photographed DNA. She was the first person to get a photograph. Rosalind Franklin, I think her name was. And she just got none of the credit for it at all. The boys took everything.
While we're talking about DNA, right? There is no such thing as a fucking spiral staircase. It's a helix.
It's a helix. Yeah.
Shut your fucking mouth, everyone.
Does that really upset you? Does that bug you?
Oh, I've got a spiral staircase. It's a fucking helix.
It's a fucking helix, mate. Do you not sound like a bit of one of them when you say that though? Like a little bit of a pedant.
I don't care. I don't care. It just
don't you just think like live and let live, Wayne?
No.
Have you ever thought of that?
Graham, you know me. If I get a bee in my bonnet, I'm fucking going all in.
Dare you call it a spiral staircase? You bastards. Spirals taper towards the top. Or
fucking helix.
I have a nice evolutionary spiral staircase, and it's actually a double helix. And I could correct everyone who came to see my wonderful staircase. What do you reckon, Wayne? Would you be up for that?
No, I'd probably have to fight you.
No, I'd have a double.
Why gotta get violent, Wayne? Why is there gotta be violence?
Yeah, what's all the violence?
I'm a wrestling fan.
You said you were going to get Essex on someone the other day, and I thought you meant you were going to have sex with them in a bus shelter.
No, on the back of a Cortina.
On the back of a Cortina, or in the back of a Cortina, or either, doesn't matter.
You're showing your age.
Right, John perked up straight away.
This is so funny. I found 2 rolls of film yesterday.
Rosalind Franklin, it was. Sorry, go on. You found 2 rolls of film.
I had them developed.
Oh my god, was it pornography?
No.
Don't know what's on these.
Surprisingly.
Surprise me, Max Spielman.
They're from 1993.
Wow.
And you could the cars in the pictures are just crazy. It's like when I would see pictures growing up of the 1950s.
Yes, because that's how far away the 90s were in the 80s.
Crazy.
If Marty McFly went back 30 years in his DeLorean, he'll go back to 1994.
But
yeah, and his
that makes sense. That makes sense. His parents were kids, weren't they?
I don't know if you can see it because it's on the phone, but I've got the photo actually here. This is brilliant. You guys can see a little bit of my history.
Okay.
When I had hair.
Oh, I remember when I had hair. Great days.
Let me see if I can find the photo.
Great days. I'll do some chats while you're looking for it, mate. Unquiet Spirit has sent a comment to Google about the incorrect information about your travels. Thank you very much, Unquiet Spirit. Siskin Edge, as I recall, according to Tony Blair, having an incredible manifesto full of things people generally want altogether feels unachievable. Something that was pointed out about the last couple of Labour manifestos, and John, you might know more about this, but individually, the policies were quite popular. But then you put them all together in a manifesto, and that's too much.
Yeah, if it's too utopian, and they've looked at this all through history. If you look at a lot of manifestos through history, whether it be Labour, Conservative, whatever, Liberal, Democrat, if it comes across as too utopian and just too unachievable, they don't actually do that well. Even if you look at individual policies, they'd be great policies.
God, look at this picture.
You know,
sorry, Wayne.
I can see it, man. Yeah. But,
look at the hair.
Look at the 1997 manifesto. There was F all in that. Yeah, actually, if you look at it, there really was not much in it.
It did say before the election that they weren't going to introduce tuition fees, and do you know what they did after the election?
Oh
no! Right, no.
What?
I'm gonna push back on that one.
Really?
Tuition fees.
Yeah,
that was just basically Nick Clegg trying to cajole David Cameron into.
No, I'm talking about 97, not 2010.
Oh, sorry. I'm talking about
Labour. Yeah, right. Labour.
Sorry, apologies.
Sorry, John. You were telling us about the manifesto in 97.
No, that was it, really. It was just that the 97 manifesto, if you actually look at it, which I because I'm a geek, I used to do that. I still do that sort of thing. There's very little substance in it because they knew they didn't really need a lot of substance in it. And the problem with the 2019 manifesto, there was loads of really, really good stuff in it. But as we all know, collectively, all you get people going is, well, how the hell are we going to pay for that? And then people think, oh God, more taxes and so on and so forth. So you've got to have that balance.
Yeah,
but are you not fearful that this incoming Labour government are going to jack up taxes on certain things, and where those taxes are going to go? In the sense
I think
of
they have to.
Yeah.
Actually, I think they have to.
Look,
I think whoever comes in has got to put some taxes up, even though we're highly taxed already. But I think there's no choice. I think there's going to have to be some stealth tax somewhere.
Yeah, but if they simply close the tax loopholes and put VAT on private schools and things like that, like if they stop the non-dom status. All those things can bring in billions. Billions without having to create a new tax.
But Graham, that's like what John was just saying. That's utopian. And
no, it's not. Utopian would be putting the tax up for rich people to 99%, which is what it should be.
No, it really is. Right, okay, you find me any government in the world that's going to say, I'm going to jack up your tax on the rich people and leave the poor
but that's
people.
my point. They're not going to say that in their manifesto, are they? They're going to say, we're not going to put taxes up. And you go, well, how are you going to raise more money then? You go, close the loopholes.
But this is where you need to sort of like say, okay, we need to find this money from somewhere, right? These people, again, broad shoulders and all that caper, right? We're going to take the money from them, right? But as soon as you say that, you've got the media, you've got all of the oligarchs coming in and saying, no, we ain't fucking doing that.
Well, we need, I think if we get the press reforms that we need in this country and Ofcom is given teeth instead of just slapping Gammon Box News on the wrist 13 times.
Ofcom's part of the fucking club. Ofcom is part of the fucking club.
I know. Giving them actual teeth so they actually sort stuff out and say you can't put this stuff online. Someone was saying about Ada Lovelace. Someone in the chat. Sorry, I've lost it. Where was the thing about more epic women in science? 19th century Ada Lovelace, the developer of the world's first published computer program. I've got my own favourite woman of science, which is Emily de Châtelet, who I'm going to put a link into the Wikipedia page. You want to look her up. She was a French scientist in the 1700s and she was Voltaire's lover. And she was his patron. I don't think his patron, not his patron. Didn't exist back then. And her husband didn't really take much interest in her, so she just hung out with Voltaire all the time. And she translated Newton's work, Principia, into French from Latin. It was originally written in Latin, and she corrected some of his mathematical mistakes. So there you go.
No, that's Omega level fucking hero.
He came up with the idea of E equals mv, and she went, no, that doesn't work, and she changed it to E equals mv squared, which then led to the mc squared famous equation by Einstein,
which was then debunked.
Go. Yeah, Marie Curie, Alex French is saying, who was the only person to win a science Nobel Prize twice, I think. I think she won it for physics and for chemistry. And they originally just wanted to give it to her husband, Pierre. And he said, no, I will not accept this award unless you give it to my wife as well, because she did all the work. Well, most of the work. Maybe it was like a joint venture or something. But yeah, one of my friends is a Marianne Fairthorne. She's a mastermind champion, and she did her mastermind subjects on women of science back in the day.
Wow.
So there you go.
That's
true story.
Good work. Do you know what? Just before we wrap, what would be each of our mastermind specialist subjects?
Oh, that's a good question. What do you reckon, Scott? What would be your mastermind specialist subject?
I think it would be like
positivity. Positivity.
Positivity.
Yeah. He's just a positive guy.
I would say like 90s metal or something like that. You know what I mean? Or
good shout.
Paul's Drag Race, because I've watched like every fucking episode of it. So something along, but that would actually be quite scary, because they'd ask you questions like, "What's this drag queen's real name?" Which I have no clue. But yeah, I honestly think it would be something like 90s or yeah.
I think one of the things on Mastermind where people fall down, if you did do 90s metal, don't forget there were hundreds of bands they could ask you about. What you're best doing is picking a band that you really like and just going, right, that band. And then you only have to ask questions about them.
Yeah, probably then it would have to be like someone like Skunk Nancy or Skid Row or something like that.
But you've got to pick, I think you've got to pick 4 or 5 different topics, depending on if you get to the rounds, the round of 16, semi-finals, quarterfinals.
I never felt like I've ever been a specialist in anything, particular other than music. I have great music.
Brilliant. Well, pick 5 bands from the 90s that you love, and they could be all your specialist subjects. What would you pick, John?
I don't know. I've probably tried some music ones.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, when I was back at school, we did a mock mastermind actually, and
really?
My specialist subject was FA Cup finals.
Oh wow!
And I was bloody good at it actually.
Who won the FA Cup in 1966?
Oh God!
Everton.
Yes!
Oh.
Woo!
Of course it was. Why did
1966 was a great year for English football.
They beat Sheffield Wednesday 3-2. Mike Trebilcock and Eric Temple scored the goals. And for Wednesday, it was
Stato in the house.
Dave Ford.
I'm liking that.
Well done. Fucking hell. That is insane. Well done.
I don't want to go on Mastermind. I'm going to send John in. I'm going to send John in as my champion. I'll say, no, I'm not going to do this fight. I'm going to send John in. Be my champion on Mastermind. Wayne, have you got another question for John? Go on, test his FA Cup knowledge.
Okay. When was it?
Apart from the last decade, I can't remember the last decade very well, but before that.
All right. What was the first FA Cup that Arsenal won in the 2000s?
Oh God, it would be 2002, and they beat Chelsea 2-0.
And who scored?
Ray Parlour got both, I think.
Is he on? Mate, the mastermind champion is John Mortar. So, yeah.
You need to call them, get on there and win.
I'm very, very impressed. We need to do this as a show one night after the election. Well, we've got more time to do
1927 was Cardiff City. I'm going through the chat now. 1927 was Cardiff City beat Arsenal 1-0. And what else we got there? Liverpool beat Leeds 2-1 in 1965. Anyway.
Bloody hell. How? Damien Pitchell, thank you very much for the £2 super chat, mate. My mastermind subject will be classical Greek history. That's a big subject, though. Nice. I mean, you want to concentrate on a particular period of Greek history, or maybe a particular famous person in Greek history, like Alexander the Great or Socrates.
I've done this before. My mastermind question would be, specialist subject would be boy bands of the late 90s. And but also Spice Girls, because let me give you one little trivia thing. Here we go. Scott, sit your ass down. What is the only Spice Girls song that didn't enter at number 1?
Oh, I know this. I know this. It was all right, hold on. Just think,
Wannabe?
No.
Stop.
John wins.
Soldier is mastermind champion. Mastermind champion, mate.
Huh?
Yeah, only went to number 2.
Went to number 2.
And it was stopped at being number 1 by Run DMC and Jason Nevins. It's like that.
Yes, it was.
1998.
Yes, it was.
Which is a much better song. Although I never really understood the music video, because they had a dance-off and the boys quite clearly won, but the girls acted like they won. But watching the videos, the boys won. The boys won!
It was the most aggressive dance-off.
It was fantastic. Oh, come on, that is a memorable music video. The 90s was so good for music videos. In fact, that might be my specialist subject, 90s music videos.
Wow, that'd be cool.
That'd be a very cool subject to have, because it was all like Spike Jones and Chris Cunningham and Michelle Gondry.
Casey Kevins.
Great stuff.
Casey.
Oh, I want to think of a question to ask you now.
Jason Nevins.
The best music video of all time, for my money, is Just by Radiohead, where it's like a little short story about a guy lying on the floor, and everyone keeps asking him why he's lying on the floor. And then he tells you, but you don't hear what he says. And then at the end, everyone's lying on the floor. Brilliant little short film there.
My little claim to fame. My mate's missus was in that video.
No way! As one of the people lying on the floor. That is awesome. Oh my God. We're all coming together. This is quite fun. Puddinate is in the chat saying my mastermind subject is Pokemon. So thank you very much for that. Can you name all 1008 Pokemon? Go.
Oh, they just keep fucking adding them, didn't they?
Well, every time a new game comes out, they add about 100.
Yeah, no, because it started, I think, it was 150.
100, yeah, but then it was supposedly 151 because Mew, which wasn't available in the original games, but apparently you could get it by trading at a particular event in Japan in 1997 or something.
And then what did they do? Capitalism? Mewtwo.
No, Mewtwo came out before, because Mewtwo is 150 and Mew is 151, because Mewtwo was made as a genetic trying to copy off the DNA that they have from Mew, because Mew's a mythical Pokemon.
Okay. The fact you two know all about this is something.
Mewtwo's legendary, whereas Mew is mythical.
Bruv, I've got 4 episodes of Star Trek Discovery to watch after this.
If anyone here is a nerd, it is Wayne.
Absolutely. No, we're battling our way. Well, we battled our way through the second season of Picard, Wayne, which was the worst thing I've ever watched. I mean, it made Star Wars Episode 1 look like it had focus.
See, but season 3.
Yes, we've done the first few episodes of season 3, and it's brilliant. And it's like, why didn't you just do this at the start, you bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I've got to go.
Okay, John.
I'm gonna go.
Sorry, John.
I've got to go as well. It's 11:20. Have you got homes to go to?
I think you, John, is just going to geek out on music, and you guys.
I'll see you later, all.
Cheers, John. Take care, mate.
Bye.
Bye. He's gone off to listen to some music.
I'm going to go too. I love you both. See you later.
Oh, Scott, you are a legend. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much, Scott.
It's just going to be me and Wayne swearing at each other now for the next 10 minutes.
I'm going to listen to Skindred.
Yeah.
He's gone. Someone's put in the chat, Johan van Kerkhoven has put, Digimon is greater than Pokemon. How dare you?
Oh, do you know what?
Take those words out of your mouth.
No.
It just reminded me because I've got to update Pokemon Go because it's the end of the month, isn't it? It's the end of the season.
I've not done mine.
New splash screen.
So my eldest has like grown out of Pokemon Go, but my youngest is always like, Dad, can I play a Pokemon game? I'm like, for fuck's sake.
Oh, it's a big hassle.
No. The reason it's a big hassle is because
you love it so much.
No, my house is very close to a Pokestop.
Oh, that's nice. You don't even have to leave your house to spin a Pokestop.
I can lay on the sofa.
Oh, you lazy bugger! I've got to get up. I've got to walk up the road.
I just spin around.
God damn it! Anyway, we've got some chats. Who played the first game? Who won the first game played at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff? Says Sarah. Unfortunately, John has left the chat, so he can't answer that. I googled really hard Arsenal quiz. Super Tiny 808 says, "Yay, MTV! MTV was just fantastic." Sarah Davis says, "1996 was my favorite year for music." Super Tiny saying, "Black Hole Sun" by Soundgarden. Tune.
Oh, it's a tune.
Absolute
fucking tune.
So good, and a great music video as well, which was kind of ripped off by some band who did a song called Muscle Museum that no one ever saw.
Oh, you fucking dickhead!
They totally ripped off they ripped off the Black Hole Sun video in that video.
I don't think they
come
had a choice.
Come on, admit that they did rip it off.
I don't think they had a choice.
Very similar, very similar. Alex French just says Taylor Swift. There you go. That's all we need to know. Your specialized subject is Taylor Swift now. Johan says, I stand by my opinion about Digimon. And Super Tiny 808 says, just force us to play Digimon. And Phone Box Chicken says, Pokemon was always a massive cynical cash grab. Oh. What?
No, I ain't gonna lie. I fucking agree with that.
Like Star Wars? The Marvel Cinematic Universe?
They started with 150 and then just kept dropping them in.
Joe Lefties is saying Ekans is the best Pokemon. No, Ekans is not even nearly the best Pokemon. Ekans, it's just snake written backwards. It's the word snake written backwards and it's a snake. That's rubbish.
Graham, it's Ekans.
That's rubbish. Ekans, whatever. I can never pronounce any of them correctly because I don't watch the TV show. Spoon Man is a more interesting track than Black Hole Sun. I'll tell you a funny story question about Santi. We are going to have to wrap up very soon. A few years ago, me and my nephew, Alan... Oh, look, there's a new splash screen on the Pokemon. This is, if anyone plays Pokemon Go, you've got a new screen as of today. Yay, as it loads up. And we were talking about Soundgarden in the garden, and I had on... Amazon, right, on just playing random music, and my phone was nowhere near me. It was over in the other side of the garden, and we were talking about how good Spoon Man was by Soundgarden, and it was on a random for you playlist that I hadn't set up. It was just songs that they thought I might like, and as we were talking about it, Spoon Man by Soundgarden came on the stereo.
I should phone listening.
Explain that, science man.
Yeah, no, that's real. That's real shit. See, now I'm in a little bit of a weird phase at the minute because you're talking about Soundgarden.
Yes.
Chris Cornell.
R.I.P.
My favorite vocalist. And then I was listening to before I came back here to do the show. I was also listening to Creed.
Yeah.
And then my favorite guitarist is Mark Tremonti from Alter Bridge and Creed, and there's all this kind of interlinking together. And if you was to put like this like super group together, and I'm wearing a Muse t-shirt, like don't get me wrong, like Muse my favorite band, got fucking tattoos on me and all that. But if you was to put that group together, fucking hell, that'd be something.
Chris Cornell always came across as a nice guy. I met him briefly when he played with his own band, not with Soundgarden, in Manchester in 1999, I think it was. And
you met him?
Yeah. He signed me ticket. I've got a ticket for Chris Cornell and his band, signed by Chris. He's one of those who came out after the gig and actually talked to people who came to the gig, which I really appreciate, because there's quite a few people. I worked at the bar, so like, if there was a chance to go along and get a signature at the end of the night, we did, and an autograph. Sorry, and there were a few artists who were just really prissy about it. Were like, yeah, I'm not going to talk to people. But then we had like people like Better Butler from Suede, and he was just really nice. He came out and he was talking.
Bernard Butler "Stay" is one of my favorite songs.
Stay's pretty good. I'm a huge fan of Yes. It's one of my favorite songs. It's just that should be the song when Labour win the election. We should play Yes by McCartney and Butler. But no, he came out and he was talking to the fans about like the chord progressions on his songs and stuff, on Suede songs as well. I mean, like, and it just came. A lot of these people, when you meet them, are just really nice. It's the horrible ones who are nasty and like, oh, piss off, I'm working. Are the ones who sort of stick in your head. But most of them are lovely.
Do you know what? You've just reminded me of like my final sort of like school leaving period was the Smash Hits poll winners party in 1997, and Suede were playing The Beautiful Ones.
Oh, great song.
And I was just like, these lot don't fit this fucking crowd.
Someone in the chat is saying Britpop was overrated. By who? Everyone said it was shit at the time. I don't think you've had The Enemy hard enough. It was like, this is rubbish. And then afterwards they went, oh yeah, it was actually quite good.
I even remember the debate between Country House and Roll With It. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was a thing.
What did they debate? They went for number one in the same week.
Yeah,
and Country House won.
Yeah, but we was at school at the time.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh yeah, Oasis going to smash it and all that. And then when Blur won, I was like, we saying now, lads?
Well, I bought Country House single in the first week, and I bought Roll With It the week after, because I didn't want Oasis to win it. And do you know what? Both those songs are possibly the worst songs by those bands.
Yeah, because let's face it, like the best Blur song is The Universal, and the best Oasis song is Master Plan.
Master Plan's very good. Oh, Acquiesce.
Acquiesce
is very good as well. Yeah. Someone saying I like Spice. That's Alf Smith saying I like Spice. Beautiful Neighborhood. And Me and You Against the World. I saw Spice. I saw Space a few years ago actually. Space was pretty good. But we got to wrap up, mate, because Aaron is saying, can you keep going for another 30 minutes so I can just take me right up to Doctor Who dropping on iPlayer? But no, we're gonna have to get going because I've got things to do before midnight.
Fair play.
Richard Gunter saying best son Elvis, old Shep. I don't know what that means, but yeah, Elvis, he was all right, I guess.
Yeah, when he went eating cheeseburgers on the toilet.
Yeah, don't eat cheeseburgers on the toilets, kids. That's all.
I think we should leave it on that.
Even on that note, don't eat hamburgers on the. Before we go, tell you a story, right? So, I was playing one of those board games that you play at Christmas with my mate Dino. We were over in Australia with my girlfriend's family, and we were on the winning square. And what you had to do is you had to write down 3 words on a piece of paper and give it to your teammate, and they had to work out which celebrity you were talking about, and then you'd say the name of the celebrity. Okay, so the words I was given on this bit of paper was cape, toilet, burger.
Elvis.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's obviously set up so you think of Elvis, but if those 3 words were just given to you randomly, I mean, you wouldn't necessarily think, why didn't he put blue suede shoes or something? It's always annoyed me. Dino, if you're watching, I love you madly, but God, you made me lose that game of vocabulary or whatever it was called.
Cheers, Dino.
Burger, cape, toilet. Ugh, I'll never forget it. Right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Wayne. Thanks to everyone who's been on the chat tonight. Thanks to everyone who appeared on the show. Thank you so much for the super chats. Give us a like on the way out. And we'll be doing loads of stuff over the next 5 weeks, right up until the election and over the election period, obviously. And in 5 weeks' time, there will be, fingers crossed, a new government of this country. So there's something to look forward to. So, the Tories will be out on their ear, and with any luck, we will absolutely crush them. More about that later. Anyway, so Wayne, thank you, and I'll see everyone else next time. Until then, hello, good evening, welcome, and goodbye.